And welcome back, folks, to another day, another game of some Australian Esports League, University League, Season 1 for 2022, upper bracket. I'm joined here with Wandering Bard, as always, and I'm Kadius, and tonight we've got UQ Super Warrior Chads going up against the University of Melbourne's LooneyMelb, who has been on a roll recently. Bard, what are you excited to see in this game?
I love watching LooneyMelb. They're a fun group of lads. They're fun in the game, in the lobby. They like to have a bit of banter, and of course, their drafts and their games have been really fun to watch. We had the pleasure of casting this team, I believe, or I did at least, in the upper bracket a little while ago. I think you've been casting more of the upper brackets since then. Well, I've been handling some of the other finals, and yeah, they're just on a tear, as you said. But UQ Super Warrior Chads, obviously, as the bracket implies, perhaps the most qualified to stop them that we've seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name, right? Super Warrior Chads, and I imagine they're going to do
Chads.
just that.
Look at that. That's really their mascot, right? They picked the Super Warrior Chad himself, Mars.
Yeah, Mars is the Super Warrior Chad, and it's going to be the AA into Dragon Knight counter pick. That's interesting.
Okay.
I have not seen this much emphasis on AA in a while, but it's going to be a very fast snap lock-in of the Enchantress counter, and they're just zooming through the second ban phase already. These teams, they are rehearsed with what they want to pick and ban here.
Yeah, I mean, we did just wrap up the most recent Dota major last night, so, you know, teams have... If you're the kind of person who cares a lot about Dota drafting and Dota meta, like, obviously you may have been tuning in and you'll be in a more practiced spot or have a more refined view of the meta, but Ancient Apparition is not in anyone's view of the meta that I've been seeing, and as a huge AA fanboy, like, I love the little ice cream cone. I'm glad to see it picked up so early, and seeing Enchantress play directly into the AA, that's... I'm not saying it's game losing, but it is very brazen, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, the pure damage is really good against Dragon Knight and the Dragon Blood armor, obviously, in lane. Getting that little extra bit of poke where normally, you know, most physical damage dealers would not be able to put too much of a dent in him. But, you know, it is only armor, so at the same time, grabbing a very heavy, like, magic damage dealing support will do just the same thing. You don't really need the pure damage per se to get through that one. So it's interesting that they've locked in Enchantress as a response. When again, you're completely right. Ancient Apparition was hovered already, so we know that the healing sprites from Enchantress are not going to be a massive factor in those team fights.
Yeah, I mean, Enchantress obviously brings more than that to the table, and it might just be less about, oh, I think that Enchantress secretly bops AA or even DK, and more be about just we have a good Enchantress player. We like the tempo that Enchantress brings in the early game. We specifically like this Enchantress Mars laning. It's whatever your safe laner is. Like we're just picking our stuff. It's not so much about the matchup. We're just comfortable that whatever you've picked isn't good enough to stop us playing what we want to play. And yeah, look, it's hard to say whether it is or not. These two teams have not met this season. Obviously, one from Group A, one from Group B. Both obviously doing very well within their own groups, and now meeting the upper bracket finals. This is sort of like the last unknown contested matchup that we'll be seeing, and sort of, you know, this is going to set the tone presumably for the rest of the finals. So both for tonight and for the longer term of this season's playoffs, it's a very, very decisive draft.
Radiant team.
Yeah, I mean, LooneyMelb certainly are a team to be feared. They've absolutely gone on a tear in the last few games that we've watched from them. 9 has been pretty much uncontested in the mid lane for the most part. Usually might win or lose lane, but outside of laning phase, 9 is able to keep up in the farm really, really well and make rotations and make those mid-game pickoffs that really do seem to propel LooneyMelb into the late game, where Monica is such a very, very, very safe and consistent position 1, able to get those leads and really, really make use of them. So I'm going to be excited to see that. And of course, Zoob's likely going to be on this Winter Wyvern. I know you weren't there for the game, Bard, but the last time we saw LooneyMelb on the stream, Zoob's piloting this Wyvern landed the most game-winning Winter's Curse that I might have ever seen in Dota 2. It was absolutely ridiculous. Popped it on the enemy Chaos Knight, and his phantasms just killed him. He basically killed himself with his phantasm illusions. It was absolutely incredible, and that Chaos Knight was pretty much running a train on the team, 1 versus 5, so to shut him down there turned what was a losing game around for LooneyMelb and ended up carrying them to the 2-0 victory in the set. So Zoob's very scary on this support pick, and I'm going to be all eyes on him in those mid to late game team fights for sure, but it's going to be Juggernaut locked in as well. Good little bit of magic resistance, magic immunity I should say, in the laning phase to help with the Arctic Sweet Burn and the Splinter Shards coming out from the Winter Wyvern. But obviously that Winter's Curse does pierce that spell immunity, so still going to be a great pickup there in that support role for the side of LooneyMelb.
Yeah, not only does Winter's Curse, potentially stun you if you're attempting to spin TP away or anything like that, but also the Cold Embrace is a pretty effective counter to Omni Slash. Even if you buy items that, enhance Juggernaut's little attacks with magic damage procs, like the Diffusal or the Maelstrom as is normal, you're reducing most of the damage from Juggernaut's big spell there, and you can't always guarantee that you're going to be able to find the Wyvern before you want to drop that ultimate. So, again, it's like not necessarily a hard counter, but it is giving yourself ways to lose in the drafting phase. So the Super Warrior Chads clearly just trust themselves very well. They're going for like the brute force of these lanes. Jug, Grimstroke, Mars Enchantress, very powerful laning setups. After lanes, as you said in the team fights, LooneyMelb, they definitely, I think, would back themselves here, especially following up with a PA. They've got this really nice balance where this support duo of AA and Wyvern, I would normally have some question marks over. They have no real reliable stun between them outside of the long cooldown on Wyvern ult, and neither of them are particularly effective, like, killing hero by themselves, and even with most +1s from cores, but Dragon Knight is a perfect complement in terms of bringing that low cooldown stun and initiation that your supports would lack, and PA brings a lot of the damage. So LooneyMelb, when you consider their draft as a whole, they definitely know what they want to do, and it's looking good for them.
I mean, DK Dragon Knight is a pretty scary lane just because of the combination of Cold Feet into the DK stun, into Cold Feet root as well. It's very scary. So if they're both able to get their spells on top of you, it's a lot of damage. So I would imagine because of that kind of wombo that they have there, the synergy between the two, it would be DK and then AA4 and then the Wyvern bot side with the Phantom Assassin. But, I've seen Stranger Things, so I mean, I'll be interested to see how that one goes. But PA here is a really interesting pick. I do like it because you know that you're probably going to be landing against an Enchantress 4 with that Mars, like we said, and there's going to be Grimstroke Juggernaut up in the safe lane. And Phantom Assassin, obviously a really good pick in lane against Enchantress. Most position ones buckle under the poke that Enchantress is able to put out with Impetus, but a couple of value points in Blur early, and Phantom Assassin going to be very, very evasive, pun intended, against the Impetus auto attack. So definitely going to be really nice there compared to a lot of the other picks that they could get. And then moving into the later stages of the game, Phantom Assassin is able to pretty much ignore Juggernaut's magic immunity in those fights, and also able to do a lot more damage than him if left unchecked as well. So solid lane for PA and a solid game as well. I'm going to be keen to see exactly what PA pulls out here. It's also maybe a little bit of a counter pick to some of the mid lane picks that they are expecting out of UQ Super Warrior Chads if these teams have played with each other before. But one thing to note is that 9 is going to be forced a little bit deeper into his pool than is usual. We've seen 9 in the previous set. He pulled out the Pugna mid as well as his signature Void Spirit, but both of those have actually been banned away in this game. And they were really, really liking the Pugna because they pick it very early, first phase, and then this LooneyMelb team are extremely good at being able to either flex that Pugna to the support role in the side lanes and put it on Zoobs, which they did in a couple of their games, or, oh no, sorry, it was Samsara that was piloting the Pugna, or actually put it on 9 in the mid lane, which is something they've done a couple of times as well. So really powerful flex pick for them, and to deny that here, 9 is going to have to dig a little bit deeper into his hero pool, I feel, to pull this one out. But he is going to get the counter pick here into the Invoker.
Yeah, the Invoker pick, I mean, you've got to lead with something in the mid lane here. Unfortunately, both teams did leave their mid lane till last, and so LooneyMelb, they got to respond to Juggernaut pick with the PA, which, as you mentioned, one of the two, really classic counters, I think, after Jug, like Sven and PA. They both have damage mitigation of their own for Jug's Omni or auto attacks, and they have huge physical burst just cut through the magic immunity of Juggernaut once he's not Omni slashing. But, now the Warrior Chads, they have to pick their mid first before the LooneyMelb mid as well. So LooneyMelb really getting the benefit here in the draft as both cores are left till the end, and they have some pretty unambiguous opportunities to counterpick. But they don't want to get too far out of their, as you said, sort of their hero pool. If it's already running low, maybe you just want to grab something that's comfortable for you and is okay to lane against the Invoker, rather than going too far out of your way to try and shut down on paper the heroes of the Super Warrior Chads. I think it will be interesting to see how this lane goes for the PA, because as you said, it's okay against Enchantress, but I feel like the Mars pressure, like just the constant damage output that Mars subjects carries to, is something PA is not normally so good against. But the combination of being able to get out of bad situations with a Blink Strike, even if you're speared to a tree and in danger of being killed, and then being healed up by the Wyvern, means that at least LooneyMelb will be able to give you know, an okay start to the PA, and as you mentioned, they like to farm Monica pretty passively through the early mid games. So this all lines up well for them. You give 9 a really active mid like the Gyrocopter. Any move that Gachi makes on this Invoker, you can assume the Gyrocopter will be responding to. So perhaps that's where we see more of a farm-oriented Exort Voker come out. We'll have to wait and see. But LooneyMelb's lineup, they don't have a lot of long cooldowns. They have very, very powerful ganking potential. Both Dragonite and Gyrocopter can lead the charge into combat and have the AA Blast following up onto their stun targets and the Winter Wyvern waiting for counter initiation in the wings. It's a great, like, sort of, not 4 protect 1, but 4 and 1 split lineup, and I think they've got a pretty clear idea of how they want to play.
Yeah, I definitely was going to say that the Gyrocopter pick here is really nice because of an earlier point that you brought up. You were saying that outside of that Winter's Curse, there's no reliable stun on the side of LooneyMelb, but that Gyrocopter in the final lock-in here for LooneyMelb does give them that homing missile available on a low cooldown in those team fights to really set up reliable stuns, which is going to be great for the Phantom Assassin. Homing missile onto a target, they get stunned, Phantom Assassin jumps in and blows them up in the stun duration. Really good natural synergy there as well as that. Obviously, Phantom Assassin, very, very, very hard to lock down and kill as it is due to that elusiveness with the blur, as well as the very low cooldown blink, and often getting a very early BKB as part of her itemization, as that's really her only weak point, is getting CC'd up and bursted down in that window. And so this team is going to have a very hard time killing it as it is. You add Cold Embrace to that situation, all of a sudden, very, very difficult to deal with this PA. So I'm going to be excited to see exactly how well Monica can pop off. Normally, we do see Monica on a little bit more of a late game scaling sort of position 1, and whereas PA usually does just want to unlock that coup de grace and then start farming kills. So I'm going to be interested to see how she's able to perform in this sort of a situation.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like that's my classic conception of PA as well, right? Is Deso BKB, but ever since the Battle Fury build became sort of, if not the standard, then like at least of equal priority, I feel like the PA is definitely more flexible in its timing. Like, you can go late with PA against like plenty of heroes. There's some counters, but against a Juggernaut, we've already sort of talked about the matchup favors you a little bit. So I don't think they have any problem dragging it late, especially with 2 other quite well scaling cores, and I don't think it's any surprise they have 2 early BKB builders in their 1 and 2 position, right? The ability to shut down the Mars and the Invoker and the Grimstroke by just popping BKB is so strong on this Gyro and PA, and Gyro is such a great counter to Enchantress as well. Like, obviously they're not going to be clashing until the team fights, but the AoE damage to clear out Enchantress and any creeps from the fight, and the fact that Flak Cannon, on top of all the magic damage, gives you yet another way to burst down this hero without having to interact with that pesky Untouchable. These are all the little things that can add up to a good game for your forwards.
I definitely was going to say that the one weakness that I do see about this lineup is that PA is going to have a really difficult time killing that Enchantress. Enchantress, you know, definitely makes it very hard to bully the PA in lane when she has Blur, but Untouchable really makes it hard for PA to do anything to the Enchantress as well. It definitely does go both ways. So I'm going to be interested to see how that one turns out, especially if they are laning against each other. But now that we have a pause here, almost in a lucky fashion, Bart, if you would like to run through the sponsors that are bringing us today's broadcast very quickly.
Of course, where would we be without the sponsors that have helped support the entire first season of AEL Uni League for 2022? Starting with Predator Gaming. They are the gaming PC partner of the AEL. You can conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming. Since they put power and precision in your hands and elevate your gaming experience in every way with their quality and performance. Thank you very much to Predator for your support of AEL. Of course, thanks also to AOC, the best viewing experience possible for the Uni League. AOC have launched their first ever monitor that's crafted for League of Legends. Yes, League of Legends is represented in every aspect, from the iconic Hextech design and logo to a specific game setting mode for you TFT fiends out there, I assume. In-game visuals achieve the fullest potential from their combination of AOC's monitor expertise with the expertise of League of Legends creators, Riot Games. And of course, Riot Games, you know, started out as all Dota people anyway, so it's one big family tree. You can check out the Aegon Pro AG275 QXL monitor today at au.aoc.com. And as we get to the lanes, we like to thank Rig last of all. What It Takes to Win, they're a headset sponsor. They develop headsets that deliver superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. So join the Rig team and enhance your gaming experience today. Acadia's Juggernaut's laning experience has started out getting slapped in the face by a DK shield. That can't be too much fun.
Yeah, definitely not. It is interesting that we did not see the lanes that we thought we were going to be seeing. Instead of having that DK plus AA synergy, we are instead seeing the Winter Wyvern come down here.
Yeah.
Which is
I think it's
very...
the Juggernaut.
It's weird, because, like, Cold Embrace just gets less value in this lane, and then Cold Feet just gets less value in this lane. So I'm not really sure why they did that, but they did it.
Cold Feet is very bad against Juggernaut. Is gonna be my first thought. The combo you described is really good all the time, so the opposing carry doesn't have the like on-demand magic immunity button.
Just click it on Grimstroke.
I mean,
just kill the other guy.
I don't think they're playing for kills in this lane. And the thing about Winter Wyvern is that she's one of those supports. She's in the category of supports whose spells are on very long cooldowns. Like her Splinter Blast isn't, but you have to level it up before the damage is really worth the mana investment. Like, she's just not very good at trading damage constantly in the lane. Whereas AA, with the sort of slow and steady buffing of his skill kit over the years, he's actually quite good at it. And you can discourage initiations like this, right? Like, yes, we did identify that you could help Monica survive trades with the Cold Embrace, but Monica does already have tools for that, like Blur and Phantom Strike. And I think the job of the AA is more going to be about, you know, discouraging that initiation by, if the Mars spears you and you Cold Feet, he can't run in to follow up on the spear.
No,
and in the meantime, you're actually whittling him down.
Think about Cold Brace in the other lane, though. Vorkor is, like, about to die. You Cold Embrace Vorkor, and then Amos uses Blade Fury.
I mean, how is the Dragon Knight about to die in a scenario where Blade Fury is off cooldown?
I mean, I suppose. Like, but I'm just saying, if he gets Cold Embraced, Blade Fury is just gonna kill him. So I don't know. To me, putting the very, very, very large magic damage nuke in the same lane as the Wyvern is a little bit of a missed.
This is not like. Yes, Dragon Knight and Wyvern lane, surely the new meta, actually secretly the most powerful lane that there is. I think it's more about aligning the supports with just like Zoobs and Vorkor play together more, or you want Zoobs to be able to go and stack, you want to be able to get more levels on the Wyvern. Like, there are other reasons why you might have your support in this lane. I think it's more the Dragon Knight famously deadens the lane, and it doesn't really matter who you put here. So you can kind of hide the Wyvern here where you'd hide another weak support like a Nyx or a Rubik.
Yeah, true.
In the meantime, the lanes, the mid lane, I mean, I was looking to see whether 9 would be able to, like, reap an early advantage. Has gone the Rocket Barrage homing missile build, so no flak early.
Yeah, he always does this. He does this every game.
Aggressive. Okay, I don't think I've seen 9 play Mid-Gyro before, but I do enjoy Mid-Gyrocopter.
He goes flakless every game. He just goes,
hell yeah.
He goes 4-4-0.
Bombs, baby. It's all about the bombs. And I'm sure the Invoker will love the constant homing missile being targeted at you. Every mid laner I know really enjoys that.
I was gonna say, like, Invoker, if this game does go late, especially because it's Gachi, who is a very competent mid laner.
Yes, a very good Invoker player as well.
Yeah, he has a lot of value in this lane, or in this game, sorry, just in general, because Gyrocopter, Dragon Knight, and PA, as well as even Wyvern and AA to a degree, all want to right click. They all want to attack, auto attack, right? Like that's how they do their damage. Deafening Blast has like insane value in this game.
Invoker in general against melee claws is like the kind of hero that forces you by itself to buy a BKB, even if there's nothing else going on in the game that makes you really care about that. And then at some point your BKB just like isn't available all the time, and Invoker's a hero that doesn't have to hard commit. So there will come a point in time where like even after the BKBs, the Invoker is just like a terror in the late game with the spell usage. But there will also be a point where they're hoping you just roll over him, I guess. And you just have to trust a good Invoker player like Gachi. He's already queued up that Hannah Midas. He will be playing the Exort build, of course. And the high damage output of that hero, the ability to deal pure damage to the PA or the ability to melt through the armor of the DK with Forge Spirits is going to be very important, I think, to this team. Like, you want to be able to throw some more damage in. Oh.
That's so clever. I was wondering why he was going Quas Exort when like Quas Wax is usually what you see a lot more these days, because Quas Wax is able to start ganking a lot sooner and have a lot more impact in early fights than Quas Exort is. But he's gone Quas Exort because if you summon the Elemental, the Forge Spirit, he's able to use the Forge Spirit to auto-attack the homing missile before it hits him.
Yeah, that's definitely one additional benefit of that build, and we see First Blood finally fall at 5.5 minutes in top lane. The AA just gets caught out. I mean, I guess they've only got sick of trying to kill this PA, and the Apparition trying to stand there and provide some pressure. Like, Maybe this would have been better if the Wyvern was up here, maybe not, but I think ultimately it is the constant bullying of this PA by this Mars, right? She's got that 1 point in Blur, but the Enchantress is mostly just messing with the enemy support and threatening to, like that, kill the AA if he comes to lane. Now, granted, A's rotated to the mid to refill the bottle. I don't know if we can really hope to kill Gachi here.
Okay.
Samsara will provide a friendly... No, he won't provide a friendly D-ward. We'll get chased off of it.
Homing missile is coming his way. Does have to be careful.
DDAA.
Homing missile. It's coming in, but here comes Raccoon Chef for the backup. Does pop the healing sprites. It's keeping Gachimuchi alive just barely. Pops the Fairy Fire for a little bit more HP. One more right click will do the trick from 9. Gachimuchi ducking in and out of the trees. It's just long enough for Raccoon Chef to finish off Samsara. They're both running for their life as Zoobs joins the fight, but it looks like both members of the Radiant side will get out in one piece. And that is going to be... I can't even remember their name. Super Warrior Chads, I do believe. These Chad names are getting more ridiculous every season. There's so many Chad teams. It's hard to keep track of.
Every year the Chads come back like the Vikings and they demand more and more from our beleaguered peoples. But yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that again. Did it seem to you like the Rocket Barrage out of 9 was like slightly delayed after that homing missile? It was almost like you needed a bottle for a bit more mana or something before that started coming out as a nuke on the Invoker. You wanted to get one more auto off. Regardless, the damage wasn't quite there. And Vorkor actually going down. I asked you to entertain a scenario where he dies through the Cold Embrace, but trick question, what if Cold Embrace is never skilled? Because as you pointed out, it's not very good in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably the play.
Fury.
Anyway, you probably just want to...
Anyways,
I don't even know. I don't even know what Wyvern does against Juggernaut. It sounds like such a bad matchup.
Like nothing in the laning phase is the point, right? But then like most supports don't do anything to Juggernaut in the laning phase. Right?
Did they put him in the Juggernaut lane just because he can Winter's Curse him like at level 6 when he spins? Is that it?
You put him in the Juggernaut lane because he has to go to like a lane somewhere on the map. Like it's a wash regardless, right?
You get so much value top lane. Ooh, speaking of top lane though, Danka. Ooh, no, he does pop the 1 to keep himself alive, just barely. But he gets so much value top, right? Because like Cold Embrace does actually stop a lot of Dunker's damage.
Wyvern's level 1 to 4 a lot more respect than I do, I think.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I mostly played against Winter Wyvern when Winter Wyvern Arctic Burn could like 100 to 0 you level 1.
It has been buffed, right? Like it's quite strong. It's just an incredibly long cooldown, and it does not like ever kill a person, especially with PA, right? PA is not finishing someone off after you lower their hit points by 30%.
Raccoon Chef chucking rocks at Zoobs in the mid lane with the little golems.
Good stuff. Just let him know. Let him know that he's not welcome.
Is he gonna do it again tonight? 12 seconds.
I mean, yeah, Gachi with that good start, right? The rotations have favored him with how they've worked out. The farmers overall on the side of his team, the lanes are going well. This is the kind of thing you need, right? Because just as like we discussed how the picks of the Dire of LooneyMelb build around their support's relative weaknesses. Invoker, if you play this Quas Exort build, he's a little bit passive in the mid game for a mid. Like compared to a lot of people, like, you're seeing these super early rotations on mids like Storms and TA and Tiny. It's like that's not this dude. Like he'll throw out a Sunstrike or two, which I assume had the DK died bottom before. I wasn't really looking, but
yes,
like
it was a Sunstrike.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? This team is built to... Oh, look at this! Mars straight to the mid lane, actually. The rotation is in favor of Gachi, not the other way around, but that will still work out. Gangbusters for the Warrior Chads. Huge kill on the Gyrocopter, and now maybe a mid tower? This is so coordinated, and it's the 3 cores rotating to the
Oh, but here comes Vorkor, popping the Dragon form. Great Spear of Mars by Dunker for a little bit of peel, but in comes the support. Samsara with the cold feet is going to secure the kill onto Infamous Amos, and Dunker gonna live another day. But no Arena of Mars for another minute, but he does have that Blink Dagger available to get that go button going when it is.
I admire the candor of Infamous Amos. Like, moving to the mid lane, you definitely caught the opponent off guard there, but maybe also caught yourself off guard a little bit. You can't run forward like that in this game as Jug without your Blade Fury. If he has spin there, he's completely fine, but because they knew he burned it to get the kill, yeah, just like, yeah, you're over the line, buddy. Dragon Tail into Cold Feet into death, and that's going to happen a lot if he isn't careful. Dunker, woof, nearly got the Inksaw stun onto Monica, but of course, as you said, no Arena of Mars, so Monica mostly just stepping back because there's no more easy creeps to hit. And okay, their mid push failed, they've regrouped 4 Radiant Heroes top, they just want to put pressure somewhere, and Gachi, in the meantime, going to be putting this Midas to use. I do like that this team understand their star mid laner, they understand his pick, and they've got heroes who can utilize the Sunstrike and who won't feel neglected with their mid laner sort of not coming to some of these mid-game engagements.
No, 100%. You know, Invoker is a hero that, especially if he was Quas Wex Invoker, he would be joining those early fights. There, yeah. But like Quas Exort Invoker is definitely,
it's like a different hero.
He plays to scale, right? Like he's using that Forge Spirit to flash farm the waves, to flash farm the camps, and you know, pump out that DPS. But you know, flash farming waves with Meteor, like we're seeing there, it's pretty much what the hero is all about with this sort of a build. He's definitely more of a scaling sort of hero, whereas Quas Wex is all about walking around, getting that Urn of Shadows, popping Ghost Walk, finding someone, popping Alacrity, popping Cold Snap, and just going to town on them with that Orchid. Definitely not going to be doing what we're going to be seeing here out of Gachi on that Invoker.
Yeah, this is the Invoker build where you are the carry, as opposed to the Quas Wex build, which is almost more of a traditional playmaking bit, like you're hoping your carry comes through for you with all the control you put out.
Yeah.
And we know that Gachi can be, Gachi's here to carry the gaze, you know, not a member of this.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, they both turn into... Ooh! That's just a very dead Raccoon Chef. Checking the wrong high ground, unfortunately. But that's the thing about Invoker.
Artillery.
They do both turn into the same, like, very, very terrifying level 25 threat. The only real difference is that, you know, this one gets there a little bit faster, and Quas Wex is able to get there with a little more combo. But meanwhile, Omni Slash being used in the mid lane, Rocket Barrage as well. 9 going to pick up a kill, I believe, for the first time this game. No, 2 and 1, very comfortably on this Gyrocopter. In comes the Enchantress. Does look like the Dire side are just going to back off though.
Yeah.
They were able to force out the Arena of Blood before taking the Mars down.
Yeah, this is the strength of this army, right? This draft is built to fight us for as well. Both teams drafting in such a way where they're very aware that their cores might need some time. Monica obviously, you know, had a pretty rough laning experience there for a bit and is building the Battle Fury. So obviously, even when you get this item done, you're not really looking to come to fights. And Mars, a little bit keen there going in without the arena. I suppose you think that your life is worth a little bit less, but try to make the Blink Spear play. The team are behind the tower. Maybe you could isolate someone, but they are too quick on the side of LooneyMelb, and it just cost the Mars his life. Pretty expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, we're seeing everyone sort of fall back around the place now, and this Gachi Invoker continues to farm. But the PA recovering is such a good sign here for LooneyMelb. I was quite worried about that as a point of failure for the draft, because obviously, yeah, they have this Gyrocopter and this DKB. Look, the Gyrocopter's first item is a Blade Mail. I'm sure you're going to tell me this is also like very normal 9 Gyrocopter.
It is. Unironically.
100%, sure.
First item Blade Mails every game.
Very, very, very normal. Hey, look, this guy is not going to die to a Mars Arena. Like, at least not without taking some sort of trade. And I like that from my mid lane Gyrocopters.
Yeah, he goes Blade Mail Sergeant Kaya into Ethereal Blade. That's his build.
Okay, maybe not those last 2 items, but I feel like Blade Mail start into like more items, just like fighting Gyrocopter, like the most ancient, venerable when Gyrocopter was patched into Dota 1 type of Gyrocopter build. So respect to 9. But yeah, it does mean that they are really trusting Monica to come through this damage eventually, and obviously the performance in their recent games implies that Monica will do that, but you do need to give some space. So we'll look to see more active moves from this team.
Ooh.
What's happened there?
He, 9 was farming a wave and nearly got wiped out by a Sunstrike.
Damn. I mean, yeah, normally I'm like looking out for players getting wiped out farming jungle camps by like AA Blast, but they do have to, you can't get too low against this Invoker. Gachi is definitely watching the map. Like, you can't just assume this Invoker is like asleep in the jungle hitting creeps. No, sir.
If they had a coordinated...
Oh, the smoke instantly pops. They know there's something on the high ground, but they're going to know even more so as the curse comes out. Splinter Blast the wrong target, I think, there. That didn't seem to do damage, but, I mean, there was no follow-up anyway, so it was more just, I'm not getting ganked. Unfortunately, this will probably reveal their high ground ward. I'm not sure.
Gachi in the bot side, gonna be getting maybe attacked by Samsara. Is he PvEing Samsara?
He's going to kill.
Is he gonna Sunstrike him? Okay, no. One more right click from the Forge Spirits plus Sunstrike would have killed, but not from that health.
Yeah, the Sunstrike needs about 10 seconds off cooldown, so he's going to camp here and see if Samsara stays in the lane. I mean, at this point, he wouldn't even need the Sunstrike. He could just hop out and... Okay, yeah, unleash... Okay, he tries for the Tornado, but it's actually too short. Now he might be in trouble. Is there a stun to follow up?
There's no stun, no, unfortunately. He used it already too early, and if he used the stun...
He's saved from the Omni. 9... there's action all over the map right now. 9 gets ganked. They save him from the Omni Slash for the Cold Embrace. There's too many Radiant heroes here. The Gyrocopter is only saved for later. Dominating streak ended by Raccoon Chef.
Look how tanky Volcor is!
He's teleported into trouble though. I don't know if there's like a tanky that's enough for this. He doesn't have any help.
He took a very long time to go down, but he went down in the end eventually.
Brutal. Yeah, all over the map. Problems for LooneyMelb. 4 heroes dying there. Not only Samsara getting playmate on in the bottom by Gachi, but yeah, simultaneously while they were distracted by the one hand, the Magician moves in top lane, and that's the power of this Invoker, right? It is the I always think it was like the, you know, kind of big brain, big ego solo mid hero, because you do get to kind of do every part of the Dota as this Cossack Sword Invoker. You're farming, you're the carry, you're threatening towers and objectives, you're scouting the map with your spirits, you're ganking people from across the map with Exort, like Sunstrike, and you are threatening to just solo kill people, as well as its obvious team fighting power. So, you know, it's a lot to handle, and while you're distracted by that shenanigans, you lose a way more important couple of kills at top.
Yeah, there is a very significant problem for this Radiant lineup though, and that's while they're getting these good fights, they're getting these good kills, there is a 0-0-0 Phantom Assassin who sits at #1 in the game's net worth currently.
Yeah, no, she's Monica is completely recovered, and as you pointed out, that is definitely their biggest concern right now. I'm sure if they knew where Monica was, they would be ganking the PA, but that is the one thing, right? You've been getting some kills, but the whole playstyle and item builds of these other cores says that we are happy to be the ones tanking the gank for our PA if it means that Monica can continue to out-farm, and that's just what happens, right? Like, Infamous Amos has gone farming items. They are competing, right? Yasha Maelstrom versus Battle Fury, but that's not a race that Juggernaut necessarily wins, and Amos is getting involved in these plays. He kind of is more of his role in the team to do so, and that means that Monica will steadily continue to creep ahead. If they can't land this gank, Monica...
Well, this is going to be the first fight that Monica's going to join. They're looking to go aggressive. Winter's Curse is going to get dropped onto Dunker with the Mars. Sunstrikes are dropping. It's going to be enough to finish off 9 in the backside. Dunker is there, though. Monica goes forward. It's going to be Monica's first victim of the game. The coup de grace is there for the proc, and it's going to be Infamous Amos picking up 2 kills, as well as Monica grabbing the kill onto Mars. It's a war of the position 1 so far, and Radiant in the lead, but for how long?
Yeah, you can tell these are really high quality teams, right? Just in terms of how they take the fights around the vision, and in particular the carries, right? Normally as PA, you'd be petrified to come to this fight without a BKB, right? Your BKB is so close as well that you really want to risk delaying that timing, but really great Dire wards up there, as well as obviously Zoob's kind of a personal ward right now, actually cosplaying on the cliff, gonna get down from there. But that string of Dire vision, as well as the presence of the teammates, makes Monica feel very safe to kind of just like linger in the waiting room outside that fight and see if he can get a cheap kill or two. Very careful to not overcommit. Didn't want to like emerge as the Invoker arrives on the scene and get crowd controlled to death, but you're happy to boost your farm up with a little bit of a Mars kill on top of all that creep score.
Samsara's items at 18 minutes into this game.
Yes.
He has a Iron Branch, Dust, and a Sentry Ward to his name.
You show this to a support player from like the 2000s in Dota. They're like, yeah, man, this is the way. This is how you do it. Like buying boots, unforgivable bourgeois greed. Like, no, wards, consumables. Okay, he does deliver the tranquils now. And look, to be honest, there's a reason that Ice Frog increased support income. You don't want to be that sacrificial these days, especially since AA has a very important role to play later in this game, right? Like, there's a lot of generic healing and regen and lifesteal that you're going to want to take out on this team, as well as just helping to burst heroes like Invoker and Juggernaut so they die in a stun chain and don't get their spells off.
Yeah, I do 100% agree with you there. But BKB completed on Phantom Assassin. That's going to be very scary.
Interestingly, no Deso at all, right? I'm not saying this is incorrect in the least, right? It's late timing for an item that needs charges, but we're going into Shard. Oh. No,
it makes a lot of sense. Shard's really good here.
Yeah, Wyvern's in trouble, yeah. Rip Zoobs.
Zoob's gonna get caught out on the bottom side. Yeah, but no, Fan of Knives is really good here. It deals with her one big problem, right? Which is untouchable on the Enchantress.
It's a long teleport. Whoa. Did Vorpor have a stun up there? Yeah, I think there was a window to Dragon Tail there. They just weren't expecting the teleport to be longer than the spin. Jug getting away with one a little bit. And now Samsara, unfortunately, not going to be allowed to get away with anything. Gachi interrupts even the cast of the Ice Blast so that he doesn't take the impact damage. Classic Invoker stuff.
He's going to get on out of there.
Just taking what he will. Like, yeah, it really is sort of a ravaging Chad here, though. Sailing up to the shores, demanding tribute, leaving again. No further comments. And progressing towards a Lincoln's first item. It's not, you know, what you'd call, I guess, a generic first item, but against the threat of Blink Dragon Tail or even just the dagger itself.
Has to watch out. The Arena of Blood is there. It's going to pop into the Spear of Mars. Got you with the Sunstrike to follow up. It ends. The BKB is there. Will Monica get out? Some lucky blur procs is all she needs, and it looks like she's going to get it. Monica getting out on a sliver of HP. Dunker is so mad. Tries to get the Spear of Mars, but the blink to safety. Oh my goodness. Somehow living on a prayer. Zoob's unfortunately not going to be nearly as lucky, but that is a massive death evaded from Monica there. Going to keep all of her gold.
You can look at it in the glass half full sense, which is Samsara is like a massive god, and so, like that Mars knew like I'm gonna hold this spear in the position PA's in. You have like no vision of any neutral camp. There's nothing here to jump to surely, and the Samsara just gets in range in time so that you're able to dodge the spear. 100% you get killed by that otherwise. That being said though, you evaded death by sacrificing your 9-second BKB charge and your Dragon Knight. And it was completely unnecessary. Like, there's just no reason with a fresh BKB ready to just sort of stand there conspicuously in front of the tower, I think, and just get initiated on and be forced to, like, burn it 100% defensively. Like, that's a bit of a blow to your big PA timing. Anyway, they're going to take advantage of this moment of weakness. The PA is going to go back to farming, realizing that, well, Battle Fury isn't a lot of damage, and this BKB is mostly about letting me farm safely, maybe pick off some solo heroes. But while you're off farming in the bottom lane, you are going to lose your tier 2 top and increased access to the jungle and Roshan as a result, as Amos, the more active carry in the game, leaning into that role, taking charge, backed up by his team as he hits the tower, so he's completely safe, even with an Ice Blast flying over. And yeah, it looks like LooneyMelb, they're in a bit of a spot right now. Their heroes are all in like awkward itemization places. Dragon Knight has his initiation dagger, but where's the damage follow-up? You know, 9 has only the Sange and the Blade Mail, so he's tanky, but also not really putting out that burst. And the Radiant, they're looking to take advantage. These Chads, they don't slow down for you.
Monica does a lot of damage, put it that way.
Monica does a lot of damage, but like less than PA not would with like other items in this spot.
Neo so greedy there, walking up to those trees. If there was a ward on this high ground, which I guess he knows there isn't, but still, if there was a ward maybe around here that might have spotted him, it would have been absolutely disastrous.
The lack of death has emboldened them. They're just going to go into Roche.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Armor melting from the Forge Spirits. They've even got the aura from the Alpha Wolf there, buffing up the Jug, the healing ward. So Infamous Amos really getting the full service here to try and solo the Roshan.
Call down. They're going to find Neo. Arena of Blood is there. Look at the damage Monica's putting out right now. Looking to kill. Dunker, so close. Omni Slash is going to finish off 9 in the front line. Meanwhile, Monica just going to blink from one to another. Gachi trying to get away. Pops the Ghost Walk, but the Ghost of the Dust of Revealance, I should say, is there. First. Monica going crazy with a triple kill right now. Infamous Amos very, very low. Pops the Blade Fury, trying to back on out of there, but Monica right on top of him. Super amounts of damage coming out of these coup de grace procs from Monica. Gets the blink, finishes off the Aegis, looking for round 2 as Zoobs is there. Same with Vorkor. The blink forward, no stun available, but they don't even need it as Monica just going to right-click the Juggernaut down, and Neo going to be the only one left alive to get on out of that fight. With the buyback used, I believe the Grimstroke was the first one to fall in the team fight overall. So that is going to be a massive win for the Dire side. We look at the gold here. We do see a 3k gold swing to the side of the Dire, and it's going to be negative 108 for the Radiant.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I'm surprised they went for that. That, for a team that seems like they're ahead, that seemed like quite a large gamble to take. They didn't really do anything to establish control of the Roche pit other than be there and try and do some D-wards, which, like, more than anything sets off some alarm bells probably for the Dire, right? You normally see teams take Roshan after they have some sort of pick or some sort of, successful engagement, or at least that the enemy shows on the other side of the map, but they just kind of said, are you ready for how fast we can do this with Forge Spirits and Alacrity? And LooneyMelb absolutely were. They pounced, they take full advantage. Monica, again, like, great job going after the supports, as you sort of pointed out. Now has the Skull Basher complete, but even with just a couple of items available, easily able to decimate these sorts of low armor targets. In return, the Juggernaut not having as much luck, even with the Aegis, just getting locked down by Winter's Curse into Cold Feet for plenty of time for the rest of the team to lose the fight. That's the difference maker there. So, unfortunately, just jumped the gun a little bit on the Roshan, and now the advantage that may have been held by the Warrior Chat seems to have been ceded, and it's LooneyMelb in the ascendancy gunning for their tier 2 offlane tower.
Yeah, but it might end up working out. I mean, as we said, Vorkor is on that Dragon Knight, his position 3 Dragon Knight that he loves so much. They do put a lot of priority on this pick. Super good at taking towers. Super good at taking towers. Unfortunately, does get a significantly bad TP and is going to get blown up, but it looks like Amos might have the same thing happen to him. The double cooldown is there from 9. Absolutely decimates him.
Well, the physical damage as well, like, that's the thing. Like, you pointed out in the draft, PA damage against the Juggernaut in the spin. We just saw it come into play twice in a row. Now, the first time the Juggernaut was obviously on the run out of a team fight, but that time he just got annihilated. The crits are getting realer and realer. Level 21 on this PA as well is, like, the big deal, right? We're up to 35% extra flare evasion. Now they're going to try and bring down Monica.
The Cold Embrace? No. Yeah, the Sunstrike, unfortunately. Can't Cold Embrace Sunstrike. Dunker very, very low though. 9 is still alive. That's still 1 core that is still kicking on, and they are going to find it. Samsara finishing off that kill, but there's too much damage onto 9 right now. He is going to get traded back as well. Samsara with another wonderful ultimate is going to connect onto 2 members of the Radiant side, and now Zoobs popping the Arctic Burn. They're going to be able to get Neo below that execute threshold and grab a kill of their own as well. And that is going to be a 2 for 3 still in the favor of the Dire side, now finding themselves with the gold lead in this game.
Yeah, support on support violence there. I think that fight is very illustrative of the tone I think we're going to see for the rest of the game, right? We've established how this game's gone for the 2 teams, and at least for the next little while, it looks like it's going to be Monica against Gucci and Amos, right? Like, individually, Monica could probably, like, at least chase either of them off. Definitely Amos is having a hard time surviving right now, but as we saw there, Gucci has some very good tools to take down this PA, even with her BKB, even with her Blur and her Blur talent up. And, you know, the supports aren't necessarily that well geared against it either, right? The Cold Embrace is countered by the Sunstrike. Even if you just have them there getting armor melted by the Forge Spirits, it's not the best. And unfortunately, the other cores, 9 and also Vorkor, are quite behind on the side of LooneyMelb, like, relative to where they should be. Several thousand gold behind the Juggernaut, way behind the Invoker. So from that perspective, it does look like we're going to see 2 cores scaling well, especially with the itemization Gucci farming constantly in the backline with the Hand of Midas. He's going to continue to scale, I think, better than, you know, this Vorkor DK that's trying to finish up another non-farming item. Only has the Shard for that, and 9's still just holding that casual Sange on the Gyrocopter.
Yeah. This new gem is so good. I just watched Zoobs go through the entire topside jungle and clear like 4 or 5 different sentries, just clicking it off cooldown. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good, but unfortunately at the bottom lane, now that you've shown top, they're going to kill Monica again, potentially. Yeah, they have the damage. Enchantress even chipping in. Every little bit helps. Omni
Slash is there. Infamous Amos going to look for Vorkor. Turns around with the stun, though. This is so much damage onto Amos. They actually get the return kill onto the Juggernaut. The EMP is there, though, to attack Zoobs' mana pool, but it looks like the Dire side, they do want more. They're going to chase down some of these members potentially. Raccoon Chef maybe walking up a little bit too far. Looks to get aggressive onto Zoobs, but it could be disastrous. The rest of the Radiant side are going in to help them. Samsara looking to be the target of choice. He does drop low, but not enough to have lethal. They turn onto Zoobs, looking to finish him off. The Winter's Curse, though, is there onto Dunker, and he's facing the wrong way, so he is going to take all of that damage. Pops the wand, but it's not enough. Second target is going to be Gucci. He goes down. 3 times killing spree getting ended, and Zoobs is just in the backline, keeping his carries alive with the Cold Embrace, and they are looking for more. Raccoon Chef is so low, gets hit by the stun from Vorkor, and looks like he's going to get finished up as well. Yes, indeed, he might be untouchable, but 9, he has a Glock on that Gyrocopter, and he is just going to blast him down. No attack speed needed, and that is going to be Dire coming up huge in yet another team fight.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I think the draft of LooneyMelb is really shining through here. Like, they've got such a cool lineup, specifically their support combination, right? You don't see Wyvern AA very often, and I think it's because of what we saw in the laning phase, right? They were a little gimpy, it did cost their core some stuff, but they trust their core players to bounce back from that, and look how good they are in these team fights, right? From that Roshan engagement before to that fight there, they are completely neutralizing Radiant cores. The Invoker thought that you could fight there without the Jug after a bit of an unfortunate Omni Slash got baited back into the tower, right? Because the Invoker just finished a Hex. You saw that instant Hex come out onto Vorkor, but unfortunately that's like, Vorkor is a lot harder to burst in the Hex than Monica is. It's not really the item they built to counter the DK. And as soon as the Invoker commits, they drop the Winter's Curse, and then they always follow up the Winter's Curse with the AA spells. They guarantee a Cold Fate stun on this slippery Invoker, and that's a death for the most important hero on the map. And it's all the support's doing. Amos building an MKB now, so he's looking to try and counteract the PA. I mean, it feels like he's really having a workaday performance here on the carry, kind of throwing himself into danger and definitely being punished for it. I don't know whether that's sustainable long term, whether they want to try and like give him a bit more of a a normal role in these fights, but the Mars so far just hasn't been quite as successful in sort of creating that front line.
Ooh, Samsara gonna get the Hex into the Meteor, into the Deafening Blast. Such a clean combo from Gachi. The Spear of Mars as well. But I fear that you have bitten off a little bit more than you could chew, my friend, as the TPs come through and Vorkor pops the BKB. And Dunker takes a quick reality check back to the fountain. So it is only going to be a 1-for-1.
I mean, I don't know whether that's like whatever they give the Warrior Chads in their feedbacks kind of getting to him a little bit, or whether that's... we can give some Dunker some credit and say that he was getting his Invoker time to get out there, but the arena was a little cute. I mean, I guess you force out a BKB charge, right? From the DK.
Super Warrior, maybe a little too Chads, put it that way.
Yeah. Like, at what point are you too much Chads, right? You start with the Chads, you're the Ultra Chads, now you're the Super Warrior Chads.
You get Chads.
Is there a point where are you too much of a Chad at some point? You're like so many muscles you can't like move right. You know, you start to like enter a Berserker rage where you just try and like arena combo a 3,000 hit point BKB hero with under his tier 2.
Yeah, I feel like this is this game could be a commentary on the negative effects of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, Chad masculinity poisoning.
When Chad Maxing goes a little too far.
Yeah.
And you Arena of Mars, or Arena of Blood with your Mars, the DK that is very hard to kill by yourself.
Yeah.
As Pos 3 Mars.
You're like, you momentarily feel if the AA isn't on your team, you're just like, man, I really love playing AA Mars, feels like I can kill anyone. You should be able to just arena people like this, and then die. Anyway, speaking of just dying,
it's
great,
like...
Actually, Amos teleporting in here, not conceding the tier 1 top lane towers.
He has BKB up again!
What's happening?
And they're just gonna turn it around onto Amos. He's gonna die. Oh my goodness. There is Arena though, and Dunker popping his own BKB this time. They're looking for Samsara, but the cold embrace is there to keep him alive. Raccoon Chef popping the impetus in the backside, but he is just gonna get turned on and melted down. Winter's Curse to hold Dunker in place while 9 arrives, and he is gonna go down as well. Once again, 9 going crazy. Pops the homing missile on Neo, and he's gonna be target number 2. And this is gonna be Dire Side not losing a single member of their own lineup and coming up with a huge 4-man team wipe on the side of this Radiant lineup.
You called it there, man. 9 rolling up to execute the drive-by there, and out of the back jumps Monica on the PA and just murderizes the team. Again, I struggle to imagine exactly what the follow-through plan was there for the Radiant, just chucking your Juggernaut forward. Like, this is not Amos's first death, right? Like, that's the kind of death a carry player dies sometimes when you've been balling the whole game, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going, I've got to be the front man for my team, I'm the strongest. Oh, okay, I've reached my limit. But, like, he's reached his limit, like, 5 times. Like, you just can't do that.
It's the unspoken strength of having Phantom Assassin in the game, right? Is the enemy position 1. He has to go for this MKB. He can't, like, he can't not buy MKB.
Speaking very mortal, 9 is getting solo bowled by Gachi in the bottom lane. Dodges the Sunstrike though, and the Kai's plus comes down. Gachi! He's punished!
The Shard. It was actually the Shard that killed him. That is so funny. Post-mortem Shard homing missile killed him.
Hell yeah. the rocket barrage coming out of the missile, the little rocket spray.
The rocket can drive by too.
Yeah. And like my gun that shoots smaller guns gets him. Yeah. Well, we've got knife missiles in real life. I'm sure we'll have a gun missile any day now, and Gyrocopter demonstrating the efficacy of that technological advancement there, gunning down the all-important Invoker, and you can just see Gachi kind of stretching now, right? Like, obviously a very proficient player. He's trying to do it all. He's on the hero to do it all, but so much is being asked of him when his other cores just kind of charge into fights and get exploded by Phantom Assassin. Yes, it's hard to avoid that physical burst. Yes, it's an unfavorable core matchup, but you don't need to give her the targets on a silver platter, and unfortunately, Raccoon Chef, even in their own base, might be feared for Monica.
That's so good. The break is so good.
Yeah, it is. Untouchable this.
Yeah, one thing that is worth noting though is Gachi is very, very close to that level 25, and as we mentioned, Deafening Blast very good against this team.
It is, but the BKBs, I mean, like, they're not fresh anymore. You can't really say that, especially PAs, but it doesn't really matter. Like, Monica at this point is so ahead Like, I no longer have faith that the Invoker's control alone is enough to really contain this fight, especially because she has a supporting cast, and because you have, like, the burst of the AA, you have the Wyvern combo. Like, there's just too much to worry about. There's some games where you can just say, oh, okay, it's alright, we're gonna just kite this PA. That's not one of these, I think.
Really, those Curse Spirits not doing too much damage, but Infamous Amo certainly does. Blade Fury's forwards, gets a couple of right clicks on Monica. Both of them are going to land.
Really
sometimes lucky. I guess he does have that MKB, so maybe not entirely luck. Ooh, that's no mana on Monica, though. Pops the Blur. Does have that Aegis, so doesn't have to be too afraid. Gets hit by a stray NATO. It's rocket. It did half his health.
It's terrifying. If you're a support player, you're just even sadder now. Like, no, Wraith Pact can't save you from everything. And,
yeah, so 9 actually TP'd away and does not have any TP to rejoin this fight.
Yeah, they've given up on this push.
So
I mean, Monica's out of mana, and they're sort of in this spot where they're like, we don't have the best team to jump. If they do figure out a way to isolate this PA, possibly like a fast blink spear if they stun her like in any way at all, you could end up in a rough spot because the rest of the team are not as explosive. It's like these fights so far have been Monica jumping into the fight after it starts and killing a target. If fight starts on Monica, it could go worse for them.
Does anyone have armor? No one's bought armor.
On the Radiant.
Yeah, no one has any armor items.
Yeah, I guess they're just embracing their potential fate, you know? They're like, well, if we die, we die, you know? Like, how much armor can you really buy against a Phantom Assassin?
You know what? It's okay. Right? It's okay to get 2k coup de grace. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just don't get hit. It's fine.
If we bought armor, she'd just buy a Deso. Therefore, I'm justified to only buy damage items.
I was wondering why, like, the 7% coup de grace got picked here, because usually the triple Stifling Dagger is really, really good, especially with that Battle Fury build, right? The Battle Fury build gives it so much more value, because you can one-shot waves.
Huge.
You can one-shot waves. You just Q the wave dies, basically. And in team fights, you know, you can just sit back and spam Q. Whereas if you go coup de grace, you know, you're really relying on like one-shotting someone, which is hard to do if the enemy's buying armor. But no armor purchased here on this Radiant side, so Monica is free to just, you know, pick up that coup de grace talent and just one-shot people, right?
I guess also like you have to be able to, you have to guarantee that you're going to be able to like.
Ooh, big fight here though. The Blade Fury is popped. Blade Mail as well. Cataclysm is there. Dunker is going to find a nice kill onto Samsara. They're going to find 9 as well on the backside. Looks like Monica just going to be disengaging with that Lincoln's provided from, I believe, Vorkor.
Yeah. Well, I thought the rest might like.
Oh, it's 9.
Yeah.
I guess 9 died because he gave his Lincolns to Monica.
Potentially, yeah. You also might not have had a way out there. That was the best arena from Dunker. Like, huge plays, right? I was thinking, damn, they can't really fight this PA until her Aegis is gone because they need to initiate on her. Surely if they initiate on anyone else, she just dives the backline and destroys them there. But what if I built a large Colosseum on the entire high ground ramp and completely blocked you off from the rest of your team such that you could, like, not even really get a good blink strike off? What then? And the answer is they get to win a fight for the first time in quite a few minutes. They've only lost half a lane of racks. It's obviously not a great situation here for the Ultra Warrior Chads, but you can tell that this is like upper bracket finals Dota, right? Because a lot of the other teams in this league so far, like LooneyMelb, have bulldozed teams with like less pressure than this, and the Warrior Chads, they are holding as best they can.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess again, kills is the name of the game for Monica. Is she queues up the Aghanim Scepter?
Oh yeah.
And that's going to be those tasty resets in those team fights, blinking around like crazy.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all, right? Like, you saw the idea, like, in particular, you have these 2 other cores who are going to continue scaling into the game, right? As if you don't win now and it drags later, you're going to have your boys, Vorkor and 9, at your back. And the main thing that the PA does that they don't is chase. Like, she's so much more mobile and so much more bursty than these other heroes have built. So you may as well build to dive the backline and instantly assassinate all squishy heroes. And if you do that, like, between the 3 of your cores, you'll be able to mop up Invoker and Jug.
Yeah. I'd probably go Rapier in this situation, but I'm built different.
You are. You literally would be built different to the way that this PA is built. What do you think of Sacred Relic being queued up?
Oh, wait! Did I jinx it? Did I jinx it?
No second component. No second component. Simply a normal, casual Sacred Relic to hold.
We surely know what this is.
We're not upgrading it with anything. There's nothing on the courier. It's a nullifier. It's a nullifier. I just like to bait people.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, I saw it. I didn't see the nullify components on the courier. I just saw Sacred Relic locked in, and I was like, surely, surely.
No one just buys a Sacred Relic. It's upper bracket finals. You know what? I
was hyped for the rapier.
Oh, I know. Like a rapier would be a throw of the highest degree. I don't think you can justify. Like, why do you need the more damage? You just took the
because it's
Grass
funny.
Talent.
Because
hang on, we're bashing the crap out of the Juggernaut. Hit button. There's an immediate counter to shit. Oh no, that's why you don't buy a rapier. Rapier instantly fed in that situation. You have thrown the finals.
It's a best of 3.
It's like an instructional video. It's like, imagine if I bought a rapier and then this happened, right? That would be bad. Anyway, I'm dead now for 90 seconds. Good luck defending the high ground.
has eggs, which is actually very good against this comp, to be honest. Ooh, that is going to be the Winter's Curse, though, getting dropped onto Infamous Amos already. Very, very low indeed, but a massive heal comes through. Looking to pop the Omni Slash immediately. It's going to melt 9's health bar. Cataclysm is there from Gachi as they look to try and get on top of the support, but Vorkor is there to create a little bit of space, doing what Position 3s do best. Throwing out those right clicks onto Infamous Amos, going to force the retreat of this Radiant side, but they still have no buyback and no Position 1 for the next 50 seconds, and Radiant are going to give everything they've got in the meantime as they look to go aggressive onto this Rax. 9 is still alive. He did pop the buyback to get back into the thick of things. No Omni Slash available for the coming fight.
And take a lane here. The Leveler plus Alacrity Juggernaut is doing insane building damage right now. Like, they are so punished for that one reckless feed on Monica, just jumping in, getting way too keen, no team follow-up, and now look at what they're suffering for. That has opened up such a window for your opponents to get back in the game, and it still isn't shut yet. Like, yeah, the pair's going back up, but if they ever break the Lincolns on this Jug, Gachi's going to hex him for about 7 seconds. Gachi, no!
They're going to look to go back in. Winter's Curse is there. They do find Gachi. Here comes Infamous Amos, though, with the Blade Fury, trying to do his best to melt down these members that are caught in the Arena of Blood. He finds Vorkor. He finds 9. Eventually, they are going to get Dunker in return, but Infamous Amos is the big carry that they want to get taken down. Zoobs goes forward, tries to get the right clicks on the Raccoon Chef, but Untouchable is in the game, my friend, and those right clicks are going to be for naught. Nice disengage though, and it looks like Radiant are going to get out to safety for now, as they don't want to be dealing with Monica, who has just respawned up nice and fresh. But that is overall still going to be a Rax taken for the Radiant side, and all of a sudden, Super Mega Giga Wadupa Chads are back in the game.
I love how much the Chads live up to their names. Like, what a Chadly game plan from Gachi. I'm not going to say he intentionally fed there, right? That was a very bold place to run, like, just assuming your opponent won't get vision of you. And without, like, time to pop his BKB, he did die. They open on him with the Lincoln's ignoring Mars Spear. But even in that situation, he knew that was a possibility, and he knew he had BKB travels back to that fight. They knew they had a window to force things without the PA, and they needed to get as much done as possible, even if it cost them an Invoker buyback. Now, they weren't able to get any more after that, but they did expose a weakness in this team, right? And, I mean, look, 9 is still dead for a long time. Roshan's alive. They could try something here, especially if Monica ever shows bottom lane. They might just gun for it. And they've drawn her over now, so Dewey's... Okay, we're going to see a play on the Wyvern instead. Zoob's dewarding. That's dangerous stuff. Gachi.
He's hexed up, pops the Lotus. Good force stuff onto the low ground, but unfortunately, Raccoon Chef is there, my friend. He's going to slow him down. Pops the Winter's Curse, though. Backup has arrived. Monica waiting off in the sidelines. Might go forward. Yes, indeed. Looking for Gachi here. The BKB is popped. Gachi popping a BKB of his own. But the chain stuns from the Abyssal are there. And they are going to find the Invoker without even losing the Wyvern of their own, thanks to some great play from the supports. And now all of a sudden, Dire are the ones that find themselves with that man advantage for a full 2 minutes. And they are looking to turn onto Roshan, where they're going to find Infamous Amos in the pit. And Roshan very low. Unfortunately, they are going to not get the Aegis. Infamous Amos is going to steal that one up. Arena of Blood as well. Radiant has arrived. They're going to do their best to peel their position 1. And they're going to find both. Monica goes down. Vorkor as well. And Infamous Amos still has that Aegis available. They pop the cooldown. That is going to be enough to pop the Aegis overall. And 9 is going to have enough space to retreat. But this is looking disastrous right now. Another 85 seconds where no PA is available. And Vorkor has to pop buyback if he has to get back into the game to defend this next Rax.
The upper bracket pressure getting to both these teams. Some pretty loose plays coming out. Raccoon Chef, I agree with the monkey noises chat wheel there. This is some real monkey noises Dota the last couple of minutes. And unfortunately, after all the dung has ceased to fly, it's the PA who's dead without a buyback. I mean, the Invoker is also, but the Invoker doesn't have to worry about their base nearly as much. And Amos came through big there, got interrupted at the pit due to some suspect plays by his team who were just really meant to be buying time for him to kill the Roche, but he's able to get the fast fingers, pick up all the components.
Winter's Curse is there. They might look to try and get aggressive onto Amos, but they're not doing any damage.
He's immune to most of it.
Middle tower is under attack.
There's no one hitting him, right? That was the stun in place, and the last stun in place from the Wyvern that made sense because it bought time for Monica to get over and set up on the Invoker, but there's no Monica setting up this time.
Ooh, double cooldown, triple cooldown. Raccoon Chef has to watch out, quite low. 9 goes forward, pops the Blade Fury, but Dunk with the Spear of Mars into his own racks. Oh, sweet betrayal. The Lotus Orb is there though, but in comes Infamous Amos, looking to go aggressive onto 9 and melt down his health bar. Dunker also getting quite low, pops the Orb of Refresher, looking to go aggressive onto the other ones as well. Infamous Amos unstoppable with the double kill. They find all 3, and Vorkor, he's arrived, but it's too little, too late. Buybacks are there from the Ancient Apparition as well as Winter Wyvern. They're looking to go for the chase now that no cooldowns are available, and Monica has joined the fight, but they don't have the vision to keep on going, and they're just going to have to take the L, as now Radiant do find themselves back in a position of a gold lead of 3,000 and trying to put the pressure onto this dire side lineup of LooneyMelb.
An absolutely crazed game 1 here. I'm so glad we're getting to see some exciting Dota, and it's really back and forth stuff as well. The win percentage graph is starting to look like a car crash, Kadius. It is officially a Radiant favored game for the first time in 20 plus minutes.
Yeah,
and I can only put this down to, unfortunately, some reckless play from the cause. In particular, Monica had a sterling game up to this point. Maybe feels the pressure because of the way that the Dragon Knight and the Garrote are itemized. Like, it is definitely this pair who has to get in there and get kills in the backline. But there's just too many tools for isolating and killing her. If she's ever not BKB, right, she just dies. Like, you got to look at the Invoker, right? Has more survivability tools, has a Lincoln's on top of the BKB, and is still dying quite a bit. So these cores trying to play superhero, they're just not able to do it alone. And when Monica tries, we're seeing lengthy deaths that cost them a lot of collateral.
I tried to put my phone on charge, but it keeps, like, the cable is mucking around. I do apologize on stream for the Windows notifications.
No, don't worry. If you don't apologize, like, we're watching the game, right? No one has to know. But I appreciate your honesty.
They can hear it.
We're all human. We all struggle.
Stop
Sometimes
making
my
noise.
housemates slam the door loudly.
Stop making
Anyway.
noise. Okay, I think I might have fixed
Amos
it.
pushing the top lane, the Radiant rallying. I mean, they're just kind of farming to consolidate right now. That's the thing. Their lineup also scales. Dunker, as you pointed out, has that Refresher Orb now. That's a new and unholy terror for LooneyMelb to try and deal with. And there's a DD rune up as well. That might be... They're just looking for some excuse to go fight, but there is a smoke from LooneyMelb. This could lead to some sort of decisive engagement, but the Radiant...
Cataclysm.
They sniff it out.
Literally Cataclysm just to get info on where everyone is. Super smart. By Gachi. We're still on the bot side.
Damage.
When you can just pick Invoker.
Yeah, true. Unironically true.
Oh, Vorkor gets in. Oh, no, nice silence. Very quick, but might still be dead here.
Yeah, Neo does get that
Finds the cause together.
disc. Will it be enough? No, of course not. He is going to go down.
In some worlds, that's like the setup for a game-winning fight, but unfortunately his team's just not close enough and they have to give them up. But at least he, buys a bit of time and immediately Gachi in the top lane pushing things out. Vorkor wants to kill him though, hunts him down. The Invoker does have a Lincoln's. They need a little bit more help to bring him low.
His Ghost Walk, unfortunately. No reveals. Well, he does have
The
dust
Ice
bits
Blast
in his
crossed
backpack.
over him there. Monica's closing it. Yeah, no vision.
No vision. Put the dust. You've got dust in your backpack. You've got dust, Vorkor. Gotta put the dust in the...
Get in the game.
Swap it with the... Why do you need Soul Ring?
Yeah.
You don't need Soul Ring this late in the game.
If you're
Swap
teleporting back to stop the Invoker pushing, I think you can afford to swap in your dust. But Vorkor now queuing up that Ags. The Black Dragon form going to be very nice.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
I didn't hear who you said had the Ags lined up before, so if that's the point you were making during that fight, I apologize.
It was PA. PA had Ags.
PA, okay.
But
Wait, PA Ags? Good God.
oh
Yeah,
my wait, I just realized what PA is queued up.
Yeah.
Pog.
All it took was a couple of feeds to convince yourself that it's time
Pog.
to buy Divine
Pog.
Rapier. Not how I normally itemize, but it shows you that
No,
they are
no.
increasingly desperate on LooneyMelb.
It is. No. You have insecurities that you need to get looked at if you don't build.
You're like,
if you don't build Rapier as a level 27 PA, like
my
you need
other
to touch
cause,
grass.
my team says that my damage is big, but I'm not sure. I think they might just be humoring me. Is my damage big enough? I think I need to buy some more damage. I think I need a Divine Rapier.
It's especially if you go the coup de grace talent, right? Because you just want to sit back and just like throw those daggers and just one-shot people with a dagger.
Wear a hat on a hat.
Oh, but in comes Gachi mode, huge. We see that AoE deafening blast we were talking about, the level 25, but the counter initiation is there as they look for Raccoon Chef and Neo, but it doesn't look like they're going to get anyone, and Nine's BKB is going to get popped for naught. Raccoon Chef hiding on in the trees. He does have to watch out. The homing missile is going to find its way to Neo, but meanwhile, on the other side, they're going to find Dunka. Gachi has to pop the Ghost Walk to get out of there to safety, but in comes Amos looking for Monica, but he unfortunately does not have enough damage to get through that satanic healing. Nine is there with the Cold Embrace, able to keep him alive for a little bit of time, but not long enough as he ends up getting melted down through the healing. Meanwhile, Gachi trying to do his best to kill Vorkor, but he's just too tanky, and Monica joins the fray to finish him off. Raccoon Chef chucking the impetuses from the high ground as Infamous Amos begins the chase on the low ground, but this PA just too elusive with the blinks over to her allies on the other side of the Roshan pit, and it looks like they're going to maybe go for a bit of a round two as they do spot out Raccoon Chef still waiting on the high ground as both teams kind of just stare at each other and they are going to walk their separate ways. But overall, that is still going to be probably an advantage for the Radiant side, as they do have pseudo all 5 members still alive with a buyback on Invoker. Never mind! As a blink forward from Monica is going to eviscerate Grimstroke. Looks like this is where they're going to look to try and take the fight. Dunka, this could be quite bad. Refresher into a second one, but the Cold Embrace is there from Zooms to keep him alive. Vorkor stunning up Dunka in place, but here comes Infamous Amos coming back to rejoin the fight, but it's not going to be in time as Dunka is going to get taken down, and they're going to look for Infamous Amos. It's going to stun RNGesus, be praised! And that is going to be another kill for the Dire side. And the tips are coming through for Monica.
100. That could be the game.
Sometimes lucky. One of the most lucky Abyssal procs you've probably ever seen in your Dota career.
Okay, hang on. You call that a lucky Abyssal proc. I call that it's not luck that the Juggernauts are there to get Abyssal, right? That was just sloppy stuff from the Radiant. Like they went, that's the fight around the pit, I forgive them for, right? They got put in an awkward spot. They bailed from a bad situation, but, like, they split in 2 different directions. That led to, say, Mars dying instantly, which then further compromises their chance to fight. But they took a great fight from that spot. The Juggernaut held his Omnislash the whole time, threatening to get on the PA. Monica was forced to, like, basically just juke around with the rest of the team to avoid getting Omni'd to death. And then they left, right? Amos, you saw, bailed back down the lane, and then Duncan just went back in. And so Amos, who was so far out of the fight, instead of being able to follow up with an Omnislash, got baited to come back into the fight. Duncan died for nothing, and that's how Amos gets bashed and killed. Like, none of that should have happened at all that way. And in particular, Amos, you know, no longer had that big Omnislash to hold up because he used the full Omnislash, not even the Swift Slash, the main one, on the solo AA. So, whoops.
That is going to be Abyssal player, Aghanim Scepter finished on Vorkor for this next fight. The Black Dragon is here.
Yeah, and now they're in a position to use it to siege as Ice Frog intended. Really bearing down on the base. 10 seconds more without the Juggernaut and longer without the Mars is plenty of time to take at least a Rax.
Yeah, that is also a full,
Actually, he's in your base, though.
a full nearly 3 minutes on that Aeon disc, I'm afraid. It has a fairly lengthy cooldown.
Ice Frog hates supports. You get this one item, you pay like $1 million gold just to occasionally not get insta-killed for a few seconds by a hero that's been insta-killing you the whole game. And, like, you can use this once every, like, moon phase.
I don't know if I've seen this Grimstroke talent all too often. Usually my Grimstroke position 5s don't get to have their level 20 talents, usually let alone their level 25 talents, so I've not seen this Stroke of Fate cast range talent. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like the whole base.
Stroke of Fate cast range, I thought you meant the damage. The cast range one all the time, babe. I mean, the Phantom hits is pretty good too, but the cast range and the damage together.
Oh, this is a Hex on Monica. This is huge. Gachi, look at the health bars. They are getting eviscerated as this is going to be Radiant putting their foothold here to close out this game 1. Vorkor on the high ground. A beautiful Arena of Blood is going to stop his retreat. In comes the Omnislash. This should be enough to finish him off. Yes, indeed. Raccoon Chef finishing off Vorkor. The buybacks are there, though. So did Monica. In she comes. Going to finish off Infamous Amos' first life. No buyback available on this Juggernaut, though. Oh my goodness, this could be a disastrous turnaround for the Dire side. They're going to look for Raccoon Chef. This should surely be a kill. Untouchable. Only going to buy so much time as Monica very slowly chunks the damage down. Yes, indeed. Double kill for the Phantom Assassin. And this is going to be a full 2 members of the Dire side dead for over a minute. This is Dire's biggest window to close this one out that we've seen in quite some time, as the Black Dragon reveal comes up huge for Vorkor in the second half of that fight after the buyback.
Yeah, the Black Dragon, 100%, but also just the buyback. So we're getting to that phase of the game where that is almost the decisive factor, is just buyback cooldowns. And despite the fact that I feel like the Dire have been the ones who've been in more awkward spots to force a buyback, might be forced to buyback on a different hero again, as Zoob's just caught in the bottom lane by Gachi. Gachi covered in sweat right now, pouring off of his body. He attempts to single-handedly carry the weighty, muscular forms of his fellow Chads over the finish line on this Invoker. It's just Amos just cannot survive a fight with all this pressure, and even with Gachi's split push potential, he has to get back to base. He can't base race the whole Dire team, who are all still alive, having buybacks, apart from that Wyvern, right? And they are on the ropes now, so will they feel brave enough to try and end the game, knowing that this could be like a multi-dieback on their side and a quick reversal? Hard to say, right? Can they anticipate that there's no buyback on this Grimstroke support? They're going to go for Megas instead.
Enchantress buyback is there as Raccoon Chef walking forward, getting a little bit of poke on the Volkor with the Hurricane Pike. Gachi. Ghost Walk, trying to defend this one Rax that is left to hold off the Mega
Creeps. He wants
Creeps.
to catch one hero on the TP out. He wants to catch one that's not the AEGIS PA. Unfortunately, the best target would have been 9, who just left, but that's their goal right now. They know that the opponent's buybacks are their win condition, but they can't fight the team into the PA Aegis. I think they proved they couldn't fight it without the Aegis, so now they need to be able to isolate 9 or Vorkor ideally, really just as many heroes as they can, and pick them off. And Gachi is, of course, again, the main man to do that. Has the Refresher now on top of everything else on the Invoker, gunning for that Assault, just everything you can think to buy. He's going to eat that Ags and just become base threat man.
Yeah, Refresher is actually, Refresher is really, really important, because we saw how big Deafening Blast was in that last fight, where it completely shut down their entire team for like a moment. And now he can do that twice, which is very important as well, because he's going to pop it once. They're going to probably instantly respond with BKB or something of that nature afterwards, even while they're disarmed. And then you wait for the BKBs to expire, which at this point in the game, they are quite low in their duration. And then you Refresher and you Deafening Blast again, and then they're disarmed for the full duration, which is enough to get on top of PA and melt them down with your Juggernaut, hopefully, as well as a bit of Mars CC if you're lucky. So, really, really big pickup here for Gachi. I'm going to be all eyes on how he makes use of this Refresher Rob cooldown in the coming fight.
Of course, also it enables him to refresh his own defensive items, so he's just desperate. He has to stay alive on this, like, squishy range hero, right? We see the PA, when she gets on him, shreds him like everyone else, so
you can
he's
hex
doing
her
whatever
twice.
he can.
You can Hex her twice, you can BKB twice. Definitely very important.
Monica, I mean, if they hex Monica once, I 100% see Gachi just hitting the Refresher regardless of everything else, because you want that CC train to last. You need to kill the PA before she becomes unstunned and hits BKB, but right now, that's a much harder thing to set up than just keeping all your lanes pushed out and trying to avoid the bad fight. You just want to delay the game. You want to force your opponents to respond to you around the map, right? Because they are not, like, evenly spread in their strength. This Monica PA is their linchpin. And she is not quite as map mobile or as safe in terms of pushing as Gachi, right? The team needs to be around her. So you can exploit that to control more of the map and just give them more whack-a-moles to hit and just wait for them to mess up.
They might run into Amos here. No, very nearly.
They're all running together. The Dire smoking top. They want to end this now. They want to get onto this pesky Invoker. They're going to find Raccoon Chef instead, but they do find Gachi. Curse
the Lincolns is popped. Volkor is there if need be with the stun. No, not going to be able to get him in time. He's just too quick with the Ghost Walk, I'm afraid. As for buybacks, we currently have them on Amos. No buyback on the PA for another 3 minutes. You would think that they would wait that out before team fighting. That would be the smart move.
This is the Dragon Knight offlaner, the first one I've seen in a little while that doesn't eventually build into the Aether Lens. And actually, it's in the backpack. Huh. Well, that sucks. With the Aether Lens there, you can break the Lincolns.
Oh, Dunkaduka's going forward though! Amos, they're looking for Volkor. Do they have the damage to melt him down? He does have that BKB. He's going to be very, very tanky in the meantime. Unfortunately, they fought in a position where... Look at where Monica is! Monica's nowhere near this fight! This could be absolutely disastrous! This position 1 carry is not there, but Volkor still somehow not dead! He is alive! Dunka pops the BKB, but Volkor gonna eventually get taken down. No buyback available to rejoin this fight. He is dead for a full 2 minutes as Monica finally arrives, but it's gonna be too little too late.
He's waddling towards this fight. Oh no, the players being brought undone by Roshan, like some sort of folktale about the problems, the issues of greed. This is like sinking to the bottom of the ocean, clutching your treasure chest. They're backpacking their Aether lenses, they need to hit stuns. They're backpacking their boots, they need to reach fights. It's almost lucky for LooneyMelb that fight didn't go worse for them. But
9k gold? Where's Rapier?
No, I mean, maybe, but this, like, what are you gonna... Oh, yeah, now that my Aegis is gone, I'll have a free slot to buy a Rapier and continue to not have
Literally
boots.
what I was thinking, no cap.
Okay, well, you're an insane person. Please never carry in my games.
Tier 5 neutral items are here, though, in 60 minutes.
That's true. Book of Shadows, that's quite something, right? Like, not normally the neutral item that you think of, but in this game where both teams have been having such a problem keeping their cores alive through, like, stun trains or Omnislash or whatever, pretty good.
Yeah, no, definitely is going to be very, very good.
Arcanist Armor, very good item in the base race situation as well. Grabbed up by the Gyrocopter.
40% damage reflection is going to be crazy. Because if you pop that in the Arena of Blood...
Yes. Yeah, you can pop that in anything, yeah, but I mean, it's less good against these, like, specifically against, like, you know, Juggernaut Omni or whatever. You're luckily the kind of core where you're okay. It'd be way scarier for, like, the PA, but, yeah, in general, very good item, obviously, for the team fights that might come to pass, and both teams are trying to farm up these items, but they're going to be forced to respond to pressure on their bases, right? Like, no one really has anything left to give in terms of collateral. Like, I was
going to say, Radiant 100% win this, so like, if they do
happen,
go for a pace race, there's no way that
they know. They're back. Although Gachi, Zoops is so keen to curse him. Breaks the linkage,
but... a really, really good dodge. Monica goes forward, pops the Abyssal Blade. They're looking to melt down Gachi. BKB Ghost Walk to get out to safety, and Monica is going to retreat. That is BKB used on PA. Infamous Amo still in the fight. The Winter's Curse is used to try and peel 9 back. And that is going to be BKB used on both the position 1 and 2 of this dire side lineup. But they did get Gachi's BKB as well. A little bit of a trade back and forth. We look at buybacks. All of Radiant have their buyback available, but they still have none on PA for another 30 seconds. That is probably what they're going to be waiting for here, and why Dire are playing this one so safe as they retreat. Gachi goes forward, though. He's looking for 9. 9 is going to be the target of choice as Vorkor goes forward. That is a great BKB, but the Omni Slash is there. Do they have the damage to melt down Vorkor? He's so tanky. 9 with the Blade Mail doing his best, but he's delivered the Juggernaut to the backline. He's going to melt down Samsara. The Arena, it finds Vorkor. It finds Monica. Oh my goodness, this is an AoE disaster as Radiant come up huge. There's still no buybacks. 3 seconds left on that PA buyback. It is finally going to be there. The PA buyback is available if they start pushing onto this base.
No joke, man. Before that fight broke out, I was scheming up a bit of a spiel about how I think Dunker might be the sneaky MVP of this game. Like, it's hard to go past Gachi. He's obviously doing a lot of stuff on the Invoker, but this Mars play, these are the sickest arenas I've ever seen, and I just watched like 100 games of Mars at the Major. Like, they're such smart arenas as well, like arenas to hold space, to bar movement, to trap heroes, like when to go on the cores, when not, when to have the refresher up. They just can't tell when they're going to get them. And again, in that fight, Dunker, he clutched out, he saved the Invoker in that first engagement. He then secures the re-engagement with the refresh arena. Dunker just god-moding this late game.
No buybacks on the Dire side, aside from this Ancient Apparition, as well as the DK, if he does not buy back right this very second to help defend. Monica is sitting in the back. They might look to go aggressive onto Infamous Amos. He has to pop the Manta style to try and get himself a little bit of distance. Vorkor goes forward, blink into the stun. There's the cooldown. They're looking for the damage here onto Juggernaut. He's getting peeled though as he goes out. 9 though. Does he have the damage? Yes, he does. They kill Infamous Amos. That's Infamous Amos's buyback used. That is absolutely massive for the Dire side.
That's really interesting gameplay from the Chads there. That, like, because in my mind, there's 0% chance the Juggernaut lives. Like, by committing to killing that Rax, he is sacrificing his buyback. Or his life, at least. And they just want Megas, because he's Gachi's charging at the top lane. It's a pity that he did not pick up the Stygian Desolator that the Juggernaut just did off the neutrals. But Gachi, he brought his own from home. He brought Forged Spirits and Alacrity, baby. Shreds the range barrier at the top lane.
Deeps.
Puts the Dire on notice. I mean, they're making huge plays to try and secure Megas. I don't know that Megas are the be-all, end-all this game. You're up against Gyrocopter, Shard, DK, and late-game Battle Fury, Phantom Assassin. Like, they can clear creeps. Even the Wyvern clears the creeps pretty well.
This is, by the way, folks at home, this is a best-of-3 series, and this is game 1, and it's 64 minutes.
Yeah, it's been so long. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that Dota over the years has been deliberately made so that the games are consistently shorter, but I'm glad we still occasionally get one like this. Gachi! Oh, he's so deep in enemy territory right now. They know he's here as well.
No, that is going to be him dead. He has buyback available, so it's not the end of the world, but that is quite disastrous. That's 2 minutes where they can force something and almost force Gachi to buyback, which is going to be a massive loss for the Radiant side.
So the late game decision making when you die with buyback available in a spot like this is twofold, right? Like either you hold it as long as possible and you make them come and pressure your base, you make them make you buyback, and that way you don't end up with like a very long death timer afterwards. You know, you maybe if you're very optimistic, get away without actually using the buyback at all, or you just commit, you say they're gonna come and push my base regardless, so I'm just gonna hit the buyback right now and get the cooldown running so that it's like off cooldown as soon as possible. And it doesn't matter if I have a 500-second death timer, I will like every death from now on, I will either buyback or lose. But he's gonna hold it, and they're not. They're gonna go on Roshan instead because it's back up again. At what point does? Okay,
Monica is.
They're gonna be in the base to force the buyback before he's alive, probably.
Oh, well, I mean, they're gonna have Aegis on a PA that now has Rapier, so
Aegis Rapier combo. They finally put it together. Backpack the boots and the Battle Fury, baby. It's all coming together.
This is gonna be big. This is definitely gonna be quite significant.
I feel like I would otherwise see people backpack the BKB, right? And that way because you're only gonna have BKB for one of your 2 lives, so you may as well use it after your Aegis so that you can either escape with the Rapier or you can turn and kill them, right? You want to have Rapier and Battle Fury, surely. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Never mind,
They are going to look for Infamous Amos, going in right away. The Abyssal Blade is there. Big Arena of Blood, though, is going to find a ton of the Radiant. Look at Gachi in the backside, slinging out spells like it's no man's business. Look at the disarm. We were just talking about this. Deafening Blast is absolutely carrying this fight. Monica's still very, very healthy with that BKB in the backside. Aegis still available as well. Looks to go forward into Infamous Amos, but the peel from Gachi, these tornadoes, these hexes. Monica can't play. 4-star fuse from Zoobs to try and get their carry out to safety, but Raccoon Chef coming up huge, slinging out those impetuses from the backside. Gonna get a double kill, and now it's gonna be Dire. Oh my goodness, they're gonna get the Meteor Staff in the trees to stop Samsara's TP, and Raccoon Chef finds it again with a triple kill. Aegis still on the PA. Buyback used by Ancient Apparition. Still a buyback on the Wyvern if they so go down, but this is looking disastrous for the Dire side for the next minute.
I missed this. Amos, like, PA is not the only one with a Rapier. Look at Amos's inventory.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do in 67 minutes, right? You're like, all right, well,
this is so sick. This is like, if you ever seen videos of like the UFC fights or like the old MMA fights where like 2 dudes are just hammering each other in the face, like no one is blocking, like they are just punching each other in the nose. That's these 2 carry builds, right? They have just like refused to have boots in my inventory because they don't do enough damage. Like we've looped around on the horseshoe to the point where that's 500 MMR logic, but also like 6k MMR logic at this point in the game, and they are just crashing into each other in these team fights. Unfortunately, the PA has to contend with a million disarms.
Just put the Battle Fury instead of the, and then you can wave clear.
I know.
No, I mean maybe the BKB will come in clutch. We'll have to wait and see.
I get it.
Monica goes forward, looking to maybe melt things down, but the Hex again from Gachi! Gachi is just all over this PA! He has her number! The BKB is there though for the respawn, he has to mash it, he didn't get it off in time! He didn't get it off in time! Oh no, that's disastrous! Monica's gonna go down! Radiant are just gonna mop through the Dire side, and that is gonna be game! Oh my goodness, what a game one, folks!
68 minutes to lose the game because you refuse to backpack your BKB or press it. You die with the BKB. You use 0 BKBs in like 2 lives across 3 team fights. That can't be correct. Just the pressure of that late game scenario, right? I'm not flaming Monica. It just shows how hard it is, right? You're juggling 17 items. You've got a Rapier to worry about. Insane late game stuff, but it is the Chads characteristically who just brazen through it. Gachi just all chatting his way to victory there.
Yes. Bard's camera has appeared to be frozen, but nevertheless, that was a great game. Game 1 as well in a best of 3 between this UQ Super Warrior Chads lineup and Team LooneyMelb, who appears that they have finally met a match in brackets. So folks, stick around and find out whether or not UQ Super Warrior Chads are going to take this out in a clean 2-0, whether LooneyMelb are going to take this all the way to Game 3 right here on the Australian Esports University League Season 1 for 2022. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 in this best of 3 between the University of Melbourne's, or UMESA, I should say, team LooneyMelb versus UQ Super Warrior Chads, who took out Game 1 in an impressive 65-minute victory. I'm Kadius on the casting desk here with the Wandering Bard. And what are you excited for in this second match?
I'm excited to see which team can, both mentally and in terms of their draft and their play, respond and bounce back from the best after that absolute slugfest of a Game 1, right? It felt every inch of 65 minutes. Both teams really kind of reached the end of their sort of known game plan and wandered deep into the unknown territory of late game Dota. And it turned out to be the Chads who just held their strength together better. LooneyMelb kind of crumbled a little bit. Obviously, their draft kind of went to a place where it faltered a little. I don't know if their item builds could be different this time. I don't know what they're going to take from that, but they have to take something from it pretty quickly and bounce back. Either just do a completely different draft and just watch that game from your mind, or run back something similar. You know, different teams have different approaches.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we are just going to hop right into things here and see how the draft is going. And Wyvern, Zoobs' Wyvern, going to get snagged up yet again by the looks of things, and that is likely going to be the Wyvern 4. We do know that they don't really like to swap that one around. They do like it to be Zoobs on the pos 4 roll, piloting that Wyvern if at all possible. So that is information for UQ Super Warrior Chads to keep in mind, that it is going to be an offlane Wyvern. So picking a very magic damage heavy safe lane is definitely going to be in their favor.
Yeah, but as we saw last game, there's other ways that you can kind of make the Wyvern feel less impactful. For one, I had a hard time getting kills with the Winter's Curse. Obviously, they picked it as a setup spell. I think if you pick Wyvern this highly, you are a team who are comfortable with the idea that Winter's Curse is more than well, I cast it on their carry and their whole team kills their carry and my Wyvern easily solo wins the game for me. But in the late game, it did feel like Zoobs had, and to be fair, the rest of the team had a bit of trouble really landing their spells impactfully because there's just so much firepower flying around in the fights. And, you know, they're going to hope for a bit better this time, but the Undying Zombies can really stack up on top of a person who's frozen in place. It depends, right? If you pick Winter Wyvern, you want to be better in a long team fight, and so we'll have to see if LooneyMelb's remaining draft can support that kind of plan. I feel like last time their damage fell off a lot in the late game, so maybe they need to itemize their cores differently, or maybe they can follow up with something that actually combos with the Wyvern even better themselves.
All I'll say is last time Zoobs on this Wyvern played against the Chaos Knight, he ended up cursing the Chaos Knight in the very, very late game, and Chaos Knight's phantasms killed himself. So,
okay. Well, I guess sometimes the dream is
history may repeat itself.
Sometimes you're just a god on the Wyvern. And to be fair, Zoobs had a pretty good game. Proudly pointing out in the chat that he only died a handful of times across a very, very lengthy game against not just very high damage, but heroes like Gachi's Invoker that were absolutely headhunting him. Speaking of, LooneyMelb have banned that Invoker, and rightly so as well, right? Take away the Dunker Mars and the Gachi Invoker, and there's 0% the Warrior Chads win that game 1. Those two, everyone on the team helped, but those two heroes specifically proved so problematic in terms of the amount of area denial and control they allowed in late game fights. So taking away both of those tools will force the Chads to present something different, and I'm interested to see what it'll be. Yeah,
definitely. I'm excited to see myself. Next pick phase here. Likely going to be picking up another support. Yes, indeed. Okay. That is going to be the Rubik reveal, which is good. You have Arena, you have Winter's Curse, you have a lot of good things to steal already on the table.
Is Arena really that good to steal?
Yeah.
For one, it's hard to steal because the Mars is almost always following up with one or both other spells. But also without those, it is called Mars Arena combo for a reason, right? You normally need a couple of the spells.
Yeah, but Arena. I don't know.
Sure.
Well,
okay.
I mean,
look, you're right. Pog.
You can. Well, I mean, it's a good spell in its own right. Yeah. If they don't have a mobility spell to get out of the arena, it is a pseudo lockdown tool to keep someone confined to an area and not allow them to run away.
There's some more good spells you can steal. Wyvern spells are all good, especially the Splinter Blast. Rubik has insane creep wave clear with Blast and his own nuke, but Grimstroke also contributing. I don't know, this is still a very, very early Rubik pick for me. This says to me either we've got something funky going on, there's gonna be Gachi Rubik mid, or I don't actually think that incidentally, but if you pick it this early, it says to me that you're not just thinking, man, what a great Rubik game, Mars Wyvern. It's like, we want to do something with Rubik specifically. So you've got me curious, Warrior Chats.
Yeah, well, this is a hero that we've seen Monica pilot a bunch of times, the old tried and true Juggernaut. We know that Monica is very, very capable on this hero, and they're also going to deny the pick as well, because they don't want to have to play into it, because it's annoying. There is still, there is still the possibility they play, like, Lifestealer if they really want to have that Magic Immunity ability, but, as I've said a couple of times, Lifestealer maybe not the best hero in the current patch, especially for that POS 1 role.
Yeah, I mean, Chaos Knight has gravitated more and more heavily towards being the like fixed POS 1. Like, there was at the start of the meta, I feel like it was more seen as a flex between POS 3 and POS 1, but at the moment teams are just like, no, this is the best safe laner on the patch, we're picking it to safe lane. It's good that you can first phase your safe laner, come and get us. So I don't think they're worried about like the Warrior Chats turning around and picking a Magic Immunity hero or an early BKB buyer, but the mid laner might be another story, right? Like, is there a mid laner you can pick here to really punish the Mars? And what I would think to punish the Mars and the Wyvern normally is Snapfire. That's what a lot of teams really like to shut these heroes down. It has been played as a mid, so, maybe you can fit it in besides this Rubik and Undying. Maybe it's some sort of Undying offlane or some other weird position. But yeah, the Warrior Chads, these first 3 picks, not 3 picks I would have normally thought, like, oh yeah, that's the start of a draft.
Yeah, no, definitely quite an interesting one. And it looks like the bans, quite a bit of time being took for the UQ Super Warrior Chads lineup. Dropping all the way down to nearly 30 seconds of their reserve time left, and they've still got a whole ban and pick phase to go through, so certainly quite a bit of decision making on this one. They're going to go for the Ursa. Very interesting.
Okay. That's a nice Jug counter, Jug counter. Mid Ursa?
Is it mid Ursa?
Where else is the Ursa play?
Well, I mean, that's it could be that CK3 in the Ursa 1.
Truly, yeah. Actually, the Ursa could be in any lane. The Ursa could be mid Ursa. It could be offlane Ursa. It could be offlane CK and safe lane Ursa. They're keeping their options open, but I don't mind the Ursa at all, right? Because the thing about Mars and Juggernaut, what they're both bad against is heroes with like burst survivability, right? Like, yeah, BKB is very good against Mars, but so is just having Enrage, and Enrage similarly good against Omnislash. They announce like you are about to take a lot of damage, and unless you get like perfectly Mars speared to the wall, like you are going to have a chance to press the button to not die in this thing where like the purpose is normally to burst your carry. So Ursa also great against both those heroes in the laning phase. You can stack up Fury swipes on people who are Wyvern frozen. It's not like, a big consideration, but it is something. It's not as effective against the Ursa as it is against some other heroes. Generally just a really nice pick. Also gives you the kind of dominant look I've seen for drafts in this patch, which is just we have 4 or 5 heroes who are incredibly tanky. Either they're strength heroes or they're like this Ursa where they're just naturally bulky due to skills. And you just can't burst any of our targets and we just swarm over you. Like pub style Dota, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's always fun. I feel like it's very impossible to like say the name UQ Super Warrior Chads without doing the whole like...
5 times quickly something. Oh my god! Okay, last pick Huskar, man. I've seen this get last phase banned in like every Dota game I have cast or watched this week. Then people are just like, oh yeah, and don't play Huskar, by the way. But can't get it out of the pool every single time, and so after banning the Invoker, they thought it was safe to go back in the water. 9 picks the signature Void Spirit. Gachi like slams the button so fast on Huskar. Man, this is going to be exciting. Do you feel like Gachi was just always planning to pick Huskar at that point in the draft, or was this like in any way a counter to 9's Void?
So obviously it counters Void Spirit very hard. Deals with Mars quite heavily because because Spear is magic damage. Wyvern, obviously, lots of magic damage. Grimstroke, magic damage. Juggernaut, lots of magic damage. So I just think this is like an amazing Huskar game, really. I think like he was looking at his options and then he was like, all right, 9's Void is open. And I think they left it open on purpose, almost to like goad him into picking it.
I think, you be honest, that was that long wait before the Ursa pick. I think they were just game planning the rest of the draft. They're like, LooneyMelb have 1 pick left. It's their mid laner. We know 9 plays these heroes. What are we gonna pick? And they just figured it all out. And man, this draft looks good. Also, I do have a feeling this draft is in part the Super Warrior Chads. I mean, maybe they just wanted to flex all their sweet cosmetics. But also, I think after that 60-minute game, they're like, let's have a 20-minute game. Because look at this draft, right? Lane dominators, up and down, early game focused heroes, very low cooldowns except the Tombstone. The Rubik, a bit of an odd one out to me, but maybe Raccoon Chef is just like, please, I don't want to play an Enchantress anymore. That was exhausting, microing all those heroes. Give me like fun, splashy Rubik hero. But yeah, they're going to try and absolutely bowl over LooneyMelb, maybe take advantage while they're mentally vulnerable after that exhausting game one. Hit him with the short right of the Huskar mid. See what Gachi can do.
Yeah, I mean, if this man's... If his Huskar looks anything like his Invoker, you know, I'm gonna be keen to see it, that's for sure.
I'd love to see any hero if it looks like Gachi Invoker. That was a sick game one. But, you know, Huskar's a bit of a different beast. And it also different from what the Huskar used to be. Like, this hero varies in its degrees of invulnerability. I feel like currently it's somewhat less invulnerable, but they have done a good job of picking a team around it. And what it will give them is constant reinitiation, right? Like, you don't just have to worry about the reality rift. You're also worried about the life break. There's just so many ways to dive and force fights to start on this team. And they are going to keep the Radiant on their toes at all times.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be the case. And unfortunately, this is going to be Undying playing against only one strength hero. I do hope that this is going to be an Undying 5 so that you get the Mars lane. Otherwise, it could be a little bit rough. Mars actually doesn't do too bad, though, against Undying, if you itemize correctly.
The thing about Undying is even if you're not against a strength hero, like, it is just very annoying as a carry to get worn down by that stuff. Like, it's still effective. It's like Timbersaw, right? You like to play into a strength hero, but you're not like, damn, my hero is deleted. It will be against the Mars, though. Rubik, very bad position 5 hero, so...
Yeah.
For many reasons. So, Jug, Grimstroke again. This is going to be similar to last game, right? You've got this off-lane hero that's going to have to kind of make do against a very powerful killing lane with, like, a very mediocre 4 position. But if you're the kind of team where, like, Raccoon Chef just plays these heroes that aren't, like, their strength is not in the laning phase, it seems like Dunker is very used to that, and they understand how to make these lanes work out for them well enough. They can just transition into their strong mid game.
It definitely does seem to be the case.
All eyes on mid, though. Early on, lots of pressure onto Dunker's CK as, you know, Monica and Samsara. Obviously, it's going to be a couple levels before they really have the kill combo together, especially because Samsara took level 1 Stroke of Fate, which is unusual, I would say, for this lane, right? Like, the combo is Ink Swell, and, like, yeah, of course you can still go 1-0-2 at level 3, which is, like, where you probably want to be, but often you might want to normally guarantee you have points in the E in case you want the Silence. The Silence can be quite strong in the laning phase, but we'll see.
Trading back and forth here. Really clean play by Vorkor on this Mars. We do know this is a bit of a favorite of his. He does, like, he pretty much only plays Mars. He plays Mars and CK. That's about it. I have not seen him on any other hero to my knowledge.
Mars is just the hero. It's everyone agrees, like, we'll never ban this, right? Like, it's just always let through the draft and then someone first picks it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good hero.
Yeah, it's a good hero, but it's, like, exactly good enough to not be ban worthy, and just, like, you just have it in every game. Everyone's used to what Mars does. Yeah, and Vorkor, it's a good hero to one trick, I'm saying. Like, if you're going to only play one hero, play this one that, like, is never ban worthy. And bulwarking his way away from the Undying, that's a... Yeah, okay. Laning phase build to have. I wouldn't have thought that slowing yourself down in return for damage reduction is the play against, like, Ursa Warrior, but just having it, obviously, is fun for later on. I did cast on the weekend a game featuring notorious mid lane enthusiast Science playing mid-Mars and rushing the Aghanim's for that bulwark, but I doubt we'll see that sort of thing this game.
Interesting.
Yeah, does a lot of damage. Don't try this at home. Only if you're a mid-scientist are you allowed to do these weird builds. 9, oh, that's a nice grab on Agachi. I mean, 9's definitely taking the fight to Huskar. Might be a mistake, though. He's just gonna die? Yeah. Huskar has the disarm.
Yeah, Huskar's broken.
9 initiated that fight. I mean, it might be one of those ones where it's like, either I try and all in, or I'm going to bleed out and die in the next couple of waves anyway, so I might as well go for it and see if I can surprise him under my tower. But it does not work out in the end, and Vorkor also going down the top lane. That build not working out either. This Undying Ursa lane is just too beefy to approach. And like the CK is not farming his out of his mind in the bottom lane, but he does have 14 last hits actually. He's doing completely fine. So yeah, it's surprising to me that the Wyvern support lane is getting heavily exploited, but the CK Rubik lane is unkillable by Jug Grimstroke.
That is not yours to offer.
Now the game continues. Gachi. 9's trying again. No, 9 is not trying again.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And yeah, they're just, I mean, the contrast in the off lanes is impressive right now. And impressive for Raccoon Chef, who's getting side pulls off. You're letting Dunker farm the waves up. Meanwhile, on top lane, constant brawling. Vorkor is still getting his CS, but like, yeah, the fact that they're giving up kills, it just looks a lot different to me. And this Wyvern hero, okay, currently playing funny games with the creeps. That is one way that you can contribute when your lane support is weaker in the lane. And now I've got... Yeah, I suppose just... Oh, actually, Gachi. I was about to say some peace and quiet, but Gachi immediately fires off the life break, forces out the Assimilate from 9, and forces a teleport mid from Zoobs, even after Gachi kind of stepped back a little bit. This is just Huskar. Like, the level of, like, constant kill threat that he provides. Like, he's just standing in your lane, and he's basically threatening a kill. So the support blinks, comes over. Samsara, meanwhile, gets, you know, his eyes closed for him in the bottom lane. Raccoon Chef and Dunker
Yeah,
put him down
Monica!
again. Monica as well.
Ooh. No. Unfortunate crit. Getting a little bit too greedy for the extra damage there on Blade Fury towards the end before retreating. And ended up getting caught out by the stun.
Just trying to take, like, some sort of good trade, right, I imagine. But things are hard for them right now. They're just no lane is. I mean, okay, the lanes are going pretty bad. It's a 2k gold deficit before 6 minutes, like without any real rotations happening either. In fact, there's rotations happening there. They're from the side of LooneyMelb to the mid lane. They're trying to bring down this Gachi Huskar early on before it gets too out of control. The 9 is under so much pressure. This last pick, cheese pick, is just debilitating. A DD rune will spawn for the Void Spirit though, right on top of him. That's perfect. Maybe now they can make something happen, but he's still not even level 6. He's not even close to level 6. He is a level and a half behind this Huskar. Dangerous science all over the map.
Don't mind if I do.
And yeah,
Back and forth CSing, I suppose, here. I mean, this is definitely just kind of what we predicted in draft. You know, this dire side lineup, this draft that they've gone for is very no breaks early, and they are playing very no breaks.
I didn't anticipate, like, maybe this level of laning phase dominance in all 3 lanes, though. I figured that they would come out with no breaks from the laning phase and really kind of go into bully mode, but you know, they decided to not wait at all, and Samsara's courier dies again. This bottom lane, I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and watch more closely what's happened. Maybe I just underestimate the sheer tankiness of CK, but I felt like they'll be able to pressure him more between Monica and Samsara's skill sets, and it just hasn't eventuated as the lane's gone on. And not only that, but they've let Raccoon Chef get away with some pulls. The camp's blocked up now, but the damage has already been done in many ways. Monica, okay, now they're going to go for the kill. They're going to take on the Rubik, which is a much easier pick off. This is the kind of thing I feel like they could have been doing on cooldown, more or less. But better late than never.
Meanwhile, they do find themselves Gachi in the mid side as well, which is quite huge, but in comes Neo Neo. Gonna look to try and kill 9, but a little bit slow, unfortunately. Not gonna grab it.
Yeah. Anytime you kill Huskar and don't trade your own hero for it, like, that's massive. Huge stuff there. And great play by the Void Spirit. I assume that was like a rune play, but Zoob's contributing as well. The Arctic Burn, you know, percent health damage is pretty solid against Huskar. The strength heroes on the dire side. Gachi, you know, obviously won't be discouraged. You can't just like change how you're playing as Huskar because you died. Bottom lane, Dunker. Okay, now he might be victimized, getting run down. It's a very late Phantasm. The illusion has like 1 hit of health, but I don't know. He felt like he had to press something. He negated a little bit of damage from the Blade Fury as a result, and there's no follow up, so he slips away. Looks like
Ooh, there's the Omni Slash. A little bit too greedy.
Yeah.
You see my face.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe they thought he didn't have the Omni, like because they didn't Omni Dunker. Some jugs don't skill it, but yeah, Raccoon Chef dying. And Gachi dies again, diving the mid lane, and this time it's Volkor who's ready. So now they're punishing the Huskar's eagerness. His early success makes him overconfident. Neo is... I can't tell if he's trying to hit the courier or get... I guess he's hitting the courier, but he missed. Oh, he got it. Okay. Waddle quick undying. And he'll get some sort of recompense. But yeah, Huskar dying twice in a row. That's very big.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And now we've got... Okay, Dunker continues to just posture aggressively. Like, this is the thing that I do like this about the Chads, and maybe this is just a drop of set playstyle. Like, that you would not tell that they've just taken a couple of deaths in a row. They are still posturing as aggressively as ever. But the gold lead has been reduced from the early, quite disastrous gap that was opened up with those kills going back the way of LooneyMelb. And 9 in particular is going to be breathing such a sigh of relief that he got those next couple of kills. If those had gone the other way, if there's like an 0-3 Void Spirit, the Huskar was just stomping him. Like, you could see the game being like almost out of reach already, but he's rallied back.
You feel like you're having a bad day, just at least you're not that neutral creep.
Yeah.
Pushed up onto the high ground and then left to burn death.
That's it.
Ooh,
as an example to the rest of them.
He may life break in. Neo is here.
Maybe, I don't know, like, I just said that Gachi wouldn't be cowed, but that was before the second death. Like, maybe at this point he's like, I should finish my armlet. Just like, hang on. Let me not throw away my game, because like, Huskar, he doesn't become useless, but if you're no longer like leading the game, and 9 is gonna try and
goes very
useless.
aggressive. The magic immunity though,
heal.
magic immunity, magic resistance is there. And now keeping him alive as well with that juicy heal.
Yep. Yeah, obviously all healing, very valuable on the Huskar, right? It's like this combination of damage reduction and healing. The damage reduction has been very, very popular in the meta as of late, but having the regen on the Huskar and the extra healing from the Undying is going to come in clutch more than once, I assume. But shows that 9 can definitely threaten Gachi, and God only knows once this Spirit Vessel that he's rushing is complete, that will really put the hurt on.
Certainly will. It's interesting now that the Radiant side do have a kill lead. This game was 0-4 at one point. And, but, I mean, Ursa doing Ursa things. Level 9 solo Roshan with Morbid Mask. I nearly said Morbius Mask. My brain is actually rotted.
It's Morbid time for this Void Spirit. He goes in under the tower. Amos presses Enrage. No thank you, 9. We're not having any of that. That is something to note, right? I made that whole point in the draft about how the Ursa was a good tool against the burst-based cores that they had, and they went and picked like a third core whose literal only job is burst damage. So, Amos, hoping to be the big man this game. After last game, he was kind of the third wheel in the call out, or the man responsible for running in and getting killed in every fight, basically.
He was putting out the hurt in that late game, you know, with the rapier.
He did a really good job.
This is a tag, though, that they've gone onto now. That's going to be a nice little juicy CC chain, and Grimstroke, Samsara are going to be the one to fight it. Infamous Amos walking up 1 versus 3, but he does have the backup arriving. Here they are. There we go. That's the combo. Double Curse is used.
I don't know if that's actually better or not, but it happened.
It just looks cool. They are going to go for Monica, though. The life break is there. That's going to be a nice and easy kill.
Rock is my thesis on that. 2 spells is better than 1. I will not be accepting reasoning or comments.
Yeah, no, that is an interesting thing that they have going
I don't
on.
think that's why they picked those heroes. I'll say that. Raccoon Chef steals the Blade Fury, so
They don't
9.
have any other spells that they can combo with it though, right? Like you can't double Omni Slash.
The thing that Grimstroke is, you don't need to combo it. Like, combo it is nice, but like you'll notice last game, I think they cast a total of no combo on these slashes because it's just tricky to line up sometimes. The combo with Grimstroke Ultimate is Grimstroke's Silence. And the fact that your opponents are rooted together and can't move.
Yeah, that is true.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But I mean, maybe they'll get it. You can double Splinter Blast. That's
True.
one thing.
Big damage.
You can double Omni as well, yeah. That's the big one. If you need a big one, that's the big one. But you know, I think in most cases it's just kind of enough to tie Huskar to another hero so he can't run you down.
Can you double Omni?
I believe you
That
can.
just like canonically doesn't make sense.
I
Juggernaut just clones himself to attack 2 people at once.
I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly what happens when you double Omni, but you can do it.
Interesting.
Yeah. There is only one Juggernaut hero though, so I think what happens is, you know how there's 2 components of Omni
Oh, but
Slash?
meanwhile in the mid lane though, Gachi gets dropped quite low, looks to pop the life break and turn things around. The armlet toggles are there as he goes aggressive onto 9. Gonna be doing the same thing to Vorkoron. Unfortunately, doesn't time the toggle well enough and is gonna get taken down. Nice little 1-for-1, but in comes Amos. They're looking for Samsara. The spear is there from Raccoon Chef.
Yeah, this is definitely, they gave Raccoon Chef the chance to have fun this game, picking this Rubik up. He's already flexing with some spell steals. But yeah, that is one thing, right? Like we last picked Huskar, like damn, so good against a lot of these heroes. Omni Slash, one of the better anti-Huskar tools. Just a ton of largely physical burst there. And yeah, even with the armlet can't necessarily survive. But still, we're seeing what this Huskar is doing. The Huskar is maintaining top net worth lead. And this is what I was going to say before to make sure I wasn't like slagging on Amos accidentally. It is in some ways as impressive to like remain at a competitive net worth while dying like 10 times as a core hero. Like as much as it is to go like 10-0, right? Like if you can die in such a way that your deaths are like not hurtful to your team and you end up winning and you achieve something with those deaths, I admire that kind of like understanding a lot. But I'm sure he'd rather be the Beyond Godlike guy.
Yeah, he is running topside here to try and help out his Chaos Knight.
He's gonna be able to help himself.
Just finds Samsara and just insta-kills him? I mean, that's defusal completed, I guess.
Man, it sucks to be a support sometimes. Poor Samsara, like you see this Ursa, like you are already dead. There is 0 ways for you to get out of that situation.
Yeah, just kill them. Forehead.
And he's like, it doesn't even cost him anything. It's not like, oh, at least he had to ult for me. Like, you can take no constellation. You just fed him some gold by being on the map. And yes, it did not need more gold.
Yeah, dude. He's full build. He's got the Morbius mask.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm more meant that he is currently the top net worth in the game. I'm sure he would like some more gold. He's going to kill up a Blink Dagger first of all, which is a bit earlier than I've seen it of late, but I guess he wants to be able to keep up with the Reality Rift and the Life Break. You can't just... You do not want the Huskar, like, jumping in and being alone in the fight for very long, so he will die surprisingly fast. But
9 is going to be the next target, and
9,
oh my...
What a spear!
Raccoon Chef showing off that he can spear with the best of them. He's actually going to stay alive as Volko goes down, and so does Samsara.
So sick. Oh my god, Raccoon Chef. Let's go.
Raccoon Chef is actually getting better spears this game than Vorkor. This is insane.
That was such a good angle, right? Like, I mean, it's a weird thing to say, right? Like, oh yeah, it's a straight line. But like, that was like max range spear, high ground or low ground. The angle's funky. You never think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get speared from my ramp like into the, like in this copse of trees here. It's not like, great job, takes him completely off guard. And then yeah, the team there bails out their star support Rubik player. Okay, I'm getting some question marks again in the chat. I'm not sure of what over this time. Oh, the Wyvern was like in their base killing their couriers. I think that might have been it. Anyway, the game will continue regardless of this interference being run. Both supports having some fun with each other in the chat. But yeah,
gotcha.
big game so far.
And Omni Slash, that's
Yeah, I mean the Huskar, that's what I mean. Like they can't really afford. The Huskar cannot be the big solo
infamous
guy
Amos
right now. He needs
pass,
to
watch out. There is, ooh, Raccoon Chef! Oh my! These guys styling on this team.
Astral Step? Yeah, come on. We were like, damn, we don't know there's that many Rubik spells to steal this
That was
game.
the most
Raccoon
ninja
Chef's
thing I've ever seen a Rubik do is double Astral Step for poke. Dunker though coming in from the flank, looking to get nice and aggressive on Dvorko, and he's going to find the lethal damage needed to win that one over. Meanwhile, Arena of Blood is there, but oh my god, it is going to be their own arena. You doubted me. You doubted that Arena was good. You doubted that Arena was good to steal.
I meant that is Arena, like, it's not like Black Hole. It's not the kind of spell you're like, well, damn, now they've picked Mars. It's a great Rubik game. But every game is a great Rubik game if you're as good as this. Raccoon Chef is absolutely going ballistic. He has just an Aether Lens. He doesn't even have the like, a neutral item to extend cast range. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have a Force Staff. How are you stealing all these spells, Raccoon Chef? What did, like, the Raccoon's just going through the dumpster and he's finding some delicacies here. It's so hard to steal Mars Arena normally. And he just rips it off. He steals the Astral Step. He's getting everything. And all in the right spots as well. Like, that was a tremendous... Obviously, they're all good when the opponent is, like, constantly shocked that you've got another spell. But he's just going ballistic on this support Rubik.
He just nerfed himself last game, I suppose, by picking up the Grimstroke. But steals
to
another
play a
spell. It's
hero.
actually going to be Spear once again.
Yeah.
He knows that this is probably a lost fight, so he's just going to back off and peel Dunker with that Spear if they get a little bit too greedy. And unfortunately, no Neo going to go down.
I see a lot of Rubiks fail. I see a lot of bad Rubik picks, I'll be honest, in games that I cast. I mean, I'm as someone with Rubik, I think is maybe still even my most played hero. I'm a Rubik hater at this point, and I think it's a very situational pick for a lot of teams. But this is the kind of game you want it, right? You've got a front line. That's like such a make or break thing, because you can just stand, even against a Void Spirit and a Mars, and all these heroes are like Blink Burst and stuns. He's able to just walk in and out of these fights, stealing and casting spells, because they have 3 huge cores right up in their face, Chad moding it. Like, you can't just go, oh, I wonder where the Rubik is, we better make sure he doesn't steal my ultimate. Like, you know, so you're just unlocking a free game for your support with this kind of draft. And here is another kill. Raccoon Chef, lift, spear from massive range. Absolutely no hope for Zoobs. I'm not sure he even saw it, the death coming. Rubik God.
Yep. Lift Spear. Amos blinks in. It's Morbin time.
Raccoon, it truly is, yeah. Raccoon God, he heard that, like, we wanted a fast game. Went, all right, I'll unleash my power limiters. We'll second phase Rubik.
Raccoon Chef is like, all right, you managed to take me all the way to 65 minutes. You are worthy of 10% of my power.
Yeah.
Picks the Rubik.
Unleash the third pick Rubik. Like, just, and like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, in the game, steal Spear on cooldown, only stop having Spear for long enough to steal Astral Step for poke, or an Arena of Blood, and then go right back to lift spearing people again. This is disgusting. He even has the Shard, so he's got that insane Mars Shard Spear. That's disgusting. Like, I don't even want to think about how much damage that is, mostly because after 65-minute games, I don't have the brain power to do maths, but, like, Spear plus Shard plus Arcane Supremacy's foul.
For my cause.
Yeah, no, you can just spear 2 people. It's pretty...
For, like, a million damage, roughly. Yeah, it's 325 damage. Mars Spear Trail does 35 a second. So, for like 10 seconds. But, I mean, you're usually at for like 3 or 4. So, yeah, that's like a Finger of Death, more or less.
Dire's structures are fortified.
AoE, Finger of Death that also stuns 2 people. Lion could never.
I feel like Gachi is just gonna...
Missed that one.
Gachi is just like, I need to go. There are people, I must kill them. He's very aggressive on this, but I love it. I live for it. He's gonna do it. Go.
He is Huskar.
Go, Gachi!
He's got BKB ready. Come on, come
Go,
on.
son! Go, son! Kill him!
Show him your strength. Okay, well, 9 is the one going in.
They are going in on the Huskar. This is interesting.
He has a BKB. I think they see that he has a BKB and they're like, fellas. If he doesn't have the BKB there, they can kill him. There is no hope.
That is the age-old countered BKB.
For my cause.
You merely kill them before they press it.
I mean, see, screenshot in the last game of PA being dead with a off cooldown BKB after having Aegis. Like, it fully happens. However, Not at this point, not to a Huskar with an armlet and that much health, and not when they don't know where his team is. Like, these are still very good Dota players, and even though these games, I think, we've really seen that kind of finals adage where, like, teams that play incredibly disciplined Dota the whole tournament can start to break down and crack a little in the finals from a combination of just, like, fatigue and pressure. And I would say that neither of these two teams have played their, like, best game that we've seen, but they're also, like, stretching each other's limits a lot here, and, you know, a little bit of a moment of, just, like, mental compass regained there as they don't initiate onto the BKB Huskar. That being said, by not being able to challenge the BKB Huskar by backing down, you are giving them all of your tier 2 towers.
Yeah. And there's one thing this comp does very well, and that's siege. Huskar right-clicks towers down quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Gachi he walks up the hill on the high ground at 20 minutes into a stun, and he doesn't, I mean, he's got the AEST and a BKB, right? But that's exactly, he knows exactly how strong he is right now, and how strong his team is. Like, this is even just like a normal Huskar draft. This is like Huskar and the other two cores are CK and Ursa, both of whom are like roughly equivalent net worth to him. Like, any one of these heroes would be a problem. Together, they are like an existential threat. Tombstone goes down.
Yeah, CK, he might not even die here from the damages. Gachi, look at him go! He's healing! Winter's Curse is used, but that might even be at his deficit, as he's going to be staying alive. The Aegis is there, and he's nearly killed 2 people, but meanwhile, his team in the backside going to go with it. He's now in a 1v4 situation. The life break is off cooldown, but he might not even get enough room to use it. Raccoon Chef doing his best to maybe help out, but oh my goodness, they've turned their attention over to the Rubik. No way he gets out. No way he gets out.
Oh my god, Raccoon. Oh my god. Okay, he's dead. He's dead. So, did Amos TP out of that fight after it started or before they caught him? Oh, he's in. He's in on Vorkor, but alone, I don't know about this, Amos.
He does have the Enrage if need be. Decides to pop it and looking to run away. Phase boots are off cooldown. He's going to spam them. Turning around onto Vorkor though. He actually finds the kill. Now Neo is here.
Oh, that little creep block, whatever it was, it caused the Mars to not actually walk down that stun, cost him his whole life. Like, that went from we kill the Ursa to I'm dead, actually. Yeah, alright then. That fight was messy. I really don't know how the Chads lost the fight that badly outside their base. I assume they got caught, like, as the Ursa was TPing, and that's why he just was not a contributor there. But, yeah, Gachi clearly went, like, my backline will be fine without me, but they were fully split up. That being said, the advantage having 3 strong cores is even after 2 are dead, Infamous Amos can still come in and wreck face, and he is now the one linking up the high ground absolutely fearlessly, embodying the Chad spirit that fuels this Warrior Chad's team. They will not let up on the pressure. That being said, he immediately TP's top to try and catch the 9 Void Spirit. Good luck doing that. I don't think 9 is the kind of player to stick around. He knows exactly what he's about there. He forces the TP back, and just like last time, that's their opening. Split up the enemy team that are ahead of you, and then take a fight where you have the numbers advantage. That's how you're going to claw your way back into a Dota game. But can they actually find the initiation this time? Undying standing under a ward. Okay, this is starting to be pretty far out on the map. They're pinging near Neo.
They do get the stun into the kill.
Yeah. Yeah, not the biggest kill, but they're happy for any kill that they can get that easily, right? That costs them nothing, so, you know. And the Dire are just gonna farm. It's very interesting to see a team like, oh, Amos might be caught here. Gets the enrage off before the arena, but they're going to hold the arena as a result. Now the Grimstone, that's a great finding. CKC,
yeah, this is a big arena. They're looking to try and melt down Gachi on this Huskar, but you know how Huskar works. The lower he gets, the harder he is to bring down. But the Winter's Curse, Infamous Amos, can actually be the one that is the boon of this Gachi Huskar in the end. Tragic, tragic treason. But in comes Dunker looking to get him maybe a little bit too aggressive as he bites off more than he can chew and melted down by the Radiant side. But Infamous Amos, he is still alive and looking to make business as he heads down 9. That is just going to be 1 kill. And look how little damage the Zerser is taking for now, but the Enrage wears off and he gets bursted down. Wicked kill streak finally going to an end by Samsara. And now Neo, the only one left. A nicely angled spear from Vorkor is going to be all they need to bring down the Undying. And Raccoon Chef in the back line. Quick chat, sorry. And this is just going to be unfortunate for the side of the Dire. They did have a very, very solid 9k gold lead, which has dropped all the way down to 7 now.
I was about to say, like, unfortunate is always an understatement. Like, it's very rare you see a team decisively. Like, this is a team who you would think are at, like, the peak of their power, right, in terms of timings. Like, these are very strong heroes at, like, 25-ish minutes into the game. They were ahead by 10k gold, and they just decisively lost back-to-back fights. That's something where it's like, we're not going to think about it now, but after this game, win or lose, we're going back and looking at this, because we messed something up there. I don't know, I think it must be just a combination of, like, these heroes maybe aren't as cool a trio as you thought. They kind of have similar weaknesses and they don't necessarily cover each other. Like, you know, if you had something like, I don't know, an OD core where you're really strong this time of the game, but you have a save or something to bail out your Huskar, that's one thing. But you saw that Gachi just kind of got isolated and killed. And granted, when you came over to help him, that's what actually spelled his ultimate doom because of the Winter's Curse. But we've seen in other situations, they are capable of handling this Huskar. He's not that far ahead. And even the Ursa, who is the most farmed hero, seems to be having trouble really pinning down targets and winning fights.
There's Basher now, though.
That'll help. That'll help. Dunker building towards a heart. Like, I was going to say before the fight broke out, it is interesting to see this Chad's team trying to sort of pivot the angle on which they are threatening the game, right? Before they were bullying down the towers and they were trying to pressure the high ground, they're threatening to just overwhelm you with like kills or removing your objectives if you don't fight, and then they suddenly fall back and split up and start sacrificing support heroes and small pickoffs because they're also out farming you on 3 different heroes. But now they've lost the pressure on the base, their lead's been cut in half. The Juggernaut is like proving that like the current net worth isn't really a threat, and I don't see the next items for any of these heroes necessarily changing things unless the Radiant also just stop farming. So I'm curious to see whether they pivot again or whether they feel as though they know when they want to try and take high ground.
This is very bad for Huskar. Monica's about to finish Scotty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like they've gone to farm the next items, and yeah, like Heart on the CK is huge, Satanic on the Huskar is huge, but Scotty and other items are going to help answer those just as well.
Offering accepted.
But I mean, you know, the Dire don't know about that Scotty, and even if they did, they're committed to their plan. The Ursa now picking up the Mindbreaker on top. So this is, again, I will say Amos is really like hitting a spike right here. Once he picks up this Abyssal Blade, he is going to be officially the big man on campus for the Dire side, and that's when I think they're going to be able to take a fight. They're obviously hoping that Roshan respawns around that time as well, and that they only need one good fight with the Aegis to crack the game open and end this series, right? Like, they do have that one game advantage. That extremely hard-fought game 1 victory gives them the chance to try and just end things here and now, and even though this early game draft is starting to feel like it might have missed its main window, it's far from over.
Certainly is. They do pop the smoke though, and this could be big. Radiant come out ahead here. This could be very well a game-winning fight. Monica taking the lead. Has that Skadi completed? This will be a Skadi reveal. Vorkor, BKB Arena ready. They're waiting on the high ground though. They know this could be disastrous. Monica gonna walk in. It's all going off. Arena left, right, and center. Vorkor in the middle of things with that BKB, trying to melt down Tombstone in the backside. Meanwhile, Infamous Amos gonna get hit with curses. Again, look at him. He's just getting kited in the backside, not even hitting anyone. But Gachi doing the work that Amos is not able to do right now, being the carry on the front line as they find one. Monica gonna be going down as well. 9. Does he have any ults charges left? Yes, he has one, so he will be able to get out safely. Or will he? The CC is there. Yes, indeed. Samsara, though, does have to watch out. Amos chasing him down, looking to get very aggressive. The stun coming very shortly. Not in time, though, as Amos finding himself a double kill, and this is surely going to be Roshan going the way of the Dire.
Let that be a lesson to you. If you pop smoke and you're running at the enemy team and you're running at that high ground ramp there under the high ground ward spot and you don't have a ward on that spot and you haven't dewarded it, just don't. Do not run up that hill. That's almost suicidal gameplay, even with a smoke, and they're completely ready for it. Amos, you saw that they used all the support ultimates, and they kited that Ursa for a hell of a long time. The Grimstrike ultimate, just so annoying, preventing Blink, preventing the Earth Shock. He doesn't want to go near any of his other heroes, but this time Gachi doesn't die as fast. Whoa. Amos is just alive! good lord.
They're gonna find
That's a
Samsara. They're gonna find 9 as well. This is disastrous. They might be able to end. There's only 2
over.
left.
That I said they only need one good fight with the Aegis very higher. They're like, you're wrong about one thing. We don't need the Aegis. Although not Zooms again, you said it. This man turns games on the wife and what a curse.
Oh god, she's gonna get taken down. He doesn't have buyback either, but Amos is still alive.
Well.
Looking for Vorkor here. The arena is there though. They might turn things around. Amos not able to chase after Vorkor. They're going to be able to get Raccoon Chef off in the backside as he got a little bit too greedy, trying to maybe steal arena. Amos pops the BKB, looking to go aggressive here onto Monica or Vorkor. Enrage TP will get him out to safety.
Man, Enrage is very strong. I really thought they were going to come through there. Yeah, that was some stuff there. Zoobs, you said it. Solo, that game, they could have, like, if they lose a Rax there and they don't get anything for it, it's so bad. Having also spent, like, buybacks and also died on cores. There's so much momentum going the other way. Now they might even be able to secure Roshan. This Huskar's dead for a very long time. And 9 is respawning. They're not going to get this DD rune, unfortunately, looks like, which might mean...
It is really hard to go for, like, a greedy Roche like that when Tombstone
yeah,
exists.
they are going to. They feel forced.
You put Tombstone, like, outside of Roche Pit and just get vision on Roche, and it is, like,
9's in. Oh, no,
super
9.
hard.
Oh, no, 9.
9 gets caught out, and they're not going to be able to do it. And this is a DD on Ursa. They can melt this down really quickly, and there's no 9. No buyback.
That was so painful. He buys back. He's like, well, he respawns. He's like, well, I'm going to be able to secure this for my team. But you didn't catch the Ursa finishes Abyssal and picks up a DD rune, and that makes you so much deader than you thought you were. Yeah, rough stuff. This has not been, for his signature Void Spirit, 9 has had such a difficult game.
And here comes Ursa doing just Ursa tings. I think it's about to be no longer Morbin time.
Yeah, this is
Oh, no, they give it to Gachi. Okay, so no, it is still okay.
Yeah. Oh, the life break taunt. That's disgusting, actually.
Certainly is. It's very scary for their very spellcast heavy comp as well.
Well, just like you can't ever escape now.
Not
You
being
can just
allowed
get
to-
taunted on Jug or Void, like, out of nowhere and die without getting to use your survivability spells. And there's nothing, like, if Huskar's BKB, they can do basically nothing about it. Even if you curse him, like, you're still taunted.
Yeah, no, not being able to cast... It's a stun, basically, like, against this comp, right? Because, like, you can't cast spells for 3 seconds. And Zoobs goes forward, pops the curse. Will he die?
Yeah.
Oh, the healing comes through from Raccoon Chef. Dunker with the BKB just in time to not die to 9. Raccoon Chef with the Holy Locket. No, sorry, that was Nero with the Holy Locket, keeping him alive. Amos looking for Vorkor. The Cold Embrace is there as well as the BKB. He might go down here. In comes Gachi. Look at the Aegis at work, melting down 9. He finds it. And the Aegis is still there. Gachi is perfectly comfortable sitting at low HP like this. Zoobs, walking a little bit too far forward. The taunt used once again. And oh no, an unfortunate Omni Slash. It targets the creeps. Sometimes unlucky. Oh my days, as now it is going to be Monica that gets disarmed, melted down by Gachi. The GGs are called. And you called it, Bard. 65 minutes in game 1, and UQ Super Warrior Chads showing that they can switch up the pace with a 35-minute game 2 victory. And that is going to be a 2-0 set going the way of UQ Super Warrior Chads tonight.
Yeah, they end the momentum of LooneyMelb there, and it wasn't all one-way traffic. I actually thought that game 2 was going to be faster, and I thought the Warrior Chads were letting it slip from their grasp a little bit, but they rally back so well. They stop themselves. They think, oh, we've got a huge edge in the draft still. Our timing is great. The enemy Void Spirit is not having a game because this last pick Huskar, you gotta hate it. But Gachi knows what's up. This is a very high-stakes game. It's the time to pull out the last pick Huskar, and they just say, okay, Amos, you're going to get this one done. Let's all finish up our next items. And they took some sick fights. Huge props to the supports of the Super Warrior Chads. Obviously, Raccoon Chef was the one making a ton of plays there in the mid game. Really made the map feel small for LooneyMelb. But Amos also knowing exactly what he had to do in both games. Like in game 1 as the Juggernaut, he was happy to be a member of the supporting cast. He filled his role. And then in game 2, going completely berserk on that Ursa, hitting the big blink kills when he needed to. The item timings were crisp. And yeah, they are your deserving upper bracket winners.
Yeah, I mean, Morbius Mask diff. That's really all it comes down to. But certainly a very well played game in both games. That game 1 especially. I think that game 1 might be the best game that we've had all season. It was super.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah,
super close. Like it was very back and forth.
That game 1 was the most I won't say I'm not gonna say best. It's hard to say best, but the most exciting game and the most fun cast I have ever had in AEL here in like what 3-4 seasons. So really, really good game. Props to both sides. Would not be surprised if this was the grand final matchup, but of course, LooneyMelb will now have to play a few more games in order to earn that rematch.
Yeah, and of course, Bart, if you want to let everyone know who exactly was bringing tonight's excitement for the viewers, that's always fun to talk about.
Oh, of course, Kadius. It's plenty of fun. Of course, responsible for supporting and bringing you not only this broadcast, but all of those AEL broadcasts, all the AEL broadcasts in other games, and all the AEL broadcasts to come are our wonderful sponsors, starting with Predator. You can conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. They are our gaming PC partner. They offer you incredible PC products and parts, putting power and precision in your hands. There's no P word for hands. It'll be alliterative. They elevate your gaming experience in every way with quality and performance. Thank you, Predator, for that. Of course, AOC, if you are just a MOBA nut and you can't get enough of not only Dota but also League, maybe you've got some friends who just never converted from the dark side, then you can rock the first ever monitor crafted for League of Legends specifically, thanks to AOC. They represent every aspect of that game. They have incorporated into the design the iconic Hex tech patterning, and of course, they have specific game mode settings to make sure that your League experience is fully optimized. I'm sure it doesn't do too badly for Dota either. And in-game visuals, with help from Riot Games, have been configured to be the very optimum that can be achieved thanks to AOC's monitor expertise. And thanks AOC for sponsoring us again. So check out the Aegon Pro AG275QXL today at au.aoc.com. And last of all, of course, Rig, what it takes to win, our headset sponsor, delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. Join the Rig team, enhance your gaming experience. Kadius, they should make sure they also, we're not done, follow AEL, because they're also responsible for bringing you this stream. It is the AEL Uni League. So make sure you check out AU Esports League, that's the account name, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. All the same URL / whatever website you put in front of it. Also, twitch.tv/AELUni if you're not there currently, and twitch.tv/AELUni2 are where you can find not only this competition, but also other AEL Uni League events. And, while you're on the socials, follow me at AWanderingBard as well.
Yeah, and you can follow this one down here. I've made it my mission to start tweeting properly. So follow me and my really good sense of humor, I promise. But as well as that, thank you so much to you, wonderful viewer, for tuning in. Tonight's game between University of Melbourne's LooneyMelb, who, honestly, the last few casts we've seen them, they've looked pretty unstoppable, but just goes to show that as we get further on into this competition, gods will start to bleed, and that's exactly what we saw tonight as UQ Super Warrior Chads were able to be the one to take them down with their...
Super Warrior Chads.
With their Giga Chadliness, and hopefully we see more of that continue on as we head further on into the bracket, all the way to the very end. But as for tonight, that's going to be it for the Australian Esports University League. We'll catch you next time right here for more great action.